夸张的一个胜率了，而 RA 有7成，所以这支队伍在赛前的布置一定会非常的这种精妙。
对，而且其实之前 RA 赢的时候都是一个 BO3赢的嘛，今天来到 BO5，其实完全是一个不相同的一个情况。
对，
BO5不管是你从战术方面也好，还是选手的状态啊，都是需要保持的非常好的。所以我觉得 BO5跟 BO3的区别还是蛮大的，还是要看双方今天的一个状态怎么样，以及战术上面的一些部署了。
对，说到战术，其实 XLG 这边会更依赖于 Crystal 个人的一个指挥方式，而且他的指挥，我其实听整个队内的语音，他是比较强势的那种，就是他需要大家来配合他的这个思路来完成统一的这种战线的转移以及前后的这种拉扯。而对于 RA 来说，他们会更加自由、更加 open 一点，就是他们每个人都会有一些对于战场上指挥的权利。而对于今天的这场比赛来说，相信两支队都已经是摩拳擦掌，准备就绪。那就让我们一起期待今天最后冠军的归属吧。
Walkouts and everything. Ooh, got a little video and everything.
就我很喜欢一句话，就是天才只是给不努力的人找的借口。
We win the game, you know, and that's what great teams do. That's what champions do, and that's what we hope to do again in the finals.
失去过才会更加珍惜这次机会吧。
我不想辜负队友，也不想辜负自己。
Be better than that one shot, guys. Be better than that one shot. Just group up, use skill, swing it, kill that. Okay, all good? All good, guys, all good.
Never giving up on
Rare Adam.
On you.
She like gaming.
Never giving up on you. On you.
终于又来了，3杀，直接结束比赛了。
我的决斗。
God, it would be so good to see No Man in VCT China next year. Or does this actually have an audience for today? Yeah, it does. We have people in the audience.
She like gaming. Happy way.
Oh, they're doing walkouts as well. Oh, happy way. I mean, I think no matter what, he's probably going to tier 1 next year. Like, somebody should pick him up. Considering how much people like to trial him.
Rare dad.
Raga's an absolute unit. It's so weird to see like only a couple of people there, you know.
Martin.
Man's so used to this.
Mr.
Oh. Is it Mr. Cannies or Mr. Canai?
Hoya.
Oh, everybody left for Hoya! Oh, I guess actually because he just walks in from the back, so it's not too bad. I was gonna say he just got blew off completely, but no, he doesn't walk up the same way as the players. Excited for the match today? Absolutely. I think like yesterday and stuff, I was just a bit tired. I'm tired today. I got to sleep a little bit more.
You do 10.
You do 10. Yeah, so I did like it does it phonetically, but that's not always right. But surely as a name it'd make more sense if it was Udo-tan, you know.
Snowflake. Midnight.
More fans on the Rare Atom side, but also I think Rare Atom were the second best team in like this time last year, and also LPL.
Millman.
That's a sick picture as well. Like, I'm so proud of him, but at the same time, what a fucking clown.
Frame. Eraser.
And everybody else sit down because Eraser comes from like on the stage. Let's see what the stats are going to be like for teams that were in Ascension Grand Finals. They, like twice. Apex won one, lost one. Rare Atom lost the Grand Final last year, in the Grand Final this year. You've also got M80 that lost the Grand Final last year, in the Grand Final this year. Right, whilst this is going on, I'm just going to make a cup of tea, so yeah, beat.
对，关键是从地图 BP 的角度来说 ，RA 会占据一些优势。他们是从胜者组决赛杀出，所以他们会有2半1选的地图上的巨大优势值。
是的，
在2支队伍本次晋升赛当中，一共是有3次交手，今天是第3次，前2次都是 RA 取得了胜利。来看一下他们会不会在地图 BP 上来做一些改变，能够更好的去让今天早点进入状态。
是的。
而对于 XLG 来说，他们必须要去改变自己的一些之前的习惯和打法。他们在最近一次是1比2，暂时是负于了对手，但是他们其实比赛的比分是非常接近的。
对的。
他们需要优化更多的细节，需要做出更多的改变来去应对今天的对局。
以往的 XLG 其实整体的地图池上面来说，肯定是没有 RA 豪华的。因为 BO5的比赛其实很多地图今天都会打到，所以我觉得从 XLG 来说，不管是地图 BP 情况也好，还是包括今天选手的状态以及战术，都是非常关键的。
是的。
因为之前的话，他们昨天刚打完嘛 ，BO5 其实暴露的缺点还是蛮多的。因为 RA 其实自己也会去研究一下录像啊，看一下对手的一些缺点。来看一下。
看一下 ，RA 先搬掉了2张图，是亚海玄城和森寒东港。森寒东港是 RA 比较常见的一个班图啊，亚海玄城其实
Maybe Riddle take that aura.
放出来的情况。
对。
而现在的第1张地图
，But yeah, but like,
选择到了员工重镇。
There's no chance for the same org to be in the grand final last year. There's no scars.
最后的决胜图幽邃地窟。
是的，从员工重镇开始聊的话，第1张地图目前为止
Unless Riddle order is scars nowadays, I don't know.
反观 RA 的话，1胜0负啊，是打了1场。
对。
那两边其实还是有一点点差距的。
对。那对于 XLG 来说，他们比较有自信的是日落之城。目前是取得了3胜1负的状态，他们的场次要比对手多。
Fine, first, I mean XLG have been terrible at it. XLG picking Sunset makes sense.
而且这张地图其实 Ragar 的个人的这个打开局面。
Is Ragar Mongolian descent? I don't know.
那最后一张决胜地图啊，3、4、5张图，莲花古城、隐士修索其实都是之前打的也
Like he's Russian, but
多数据积累的一些地图了。
对，至少有打过，但是来到图5的话，幽邃地窟目前为止 RA 好像是还没有打过的。
对，本次比赛里他们是没有打过幽邃地窟的。然后但对手 XLG 2-0嘛，所以
like I don't know about geography and anything like that to try and guess players' nationalities based on really just how they look, right? I haven't heard Raga speak before.
关键就是 XLG 自己的选图能不能
All I know is that he's just a really sound guy.
他们的这个第2轮的选图隐士修索也是
Was helpful with Merzy and Zitsu and other Russians that were considering going to China.
他们能够啃下对手一张地图的话，那其实对于整个 B5的旅程来说都是非常有一些机会能够去战胜对手的。
对，
那还是要回到双方第一张员工重镇的一个英雄选择来看一下。
Oh, Team B's watching too.
哦 ，XLG 有一点变化哦。他们好像是拿到了一个盖可的一个体系啊，之前的话是没有这个的。
之前他们使用比较多的，尤其是上一次面对 RA， 当时是5比13落败的时候，他们的阵容体系是带了0和斯凯。
对对对。
今天是
XLG changed Hello.
拿到了现在比较万金油的一个阵容体系。
是的。
Let me go push the top.
RA 的话，这一套阵容是没有变的。
哎，也能从数据上看得出来啊 ，RA 这张地图确实数据很夸张。83%的攻方胜率啊
XLG was running Sky Cypher, right?
是非常夸张的一个领先的。
But they're running this, I can't remember.
I'm
trying to remember. I think so because I think you said you didn't like it, right?
Yeah.
This not the thing that spawned off the.
部署爆能器的获胜率上来说是高达79.5%。接近80%的一个胜率。
对，
如果一旦让 RA 安装完了爆能器，其实 XLG 想翻的话，这概率是比较低的。
One of these, you know the double
，double
map ban. Like against certain teams, it's just everything.
Yeah.
And it might be one of those.
It's quite weird because it's like there was a period where every team that came through the upper bracket and had the 2 bans would lose. Like it didn't happen all the time, but it was like a good 40% like win rate for the team that didn't have a ban.
Yeah, it is odd how it happens like that.
Like EG at Champs, I'm pretty sure Loud winning Champs as well the year before was from the losers bracket.
Yeah, no, there's a period where it's happening all the time.
Wonder why.
Might just be the anti on like the maps not playing, or just like the we know we're meant to lose this map.
Yeah, I guess it is the whole like we should win, right? Like you get 2 bans and it's your first pick first.
Yeah. But we had something similar when we played Guild on Haven. Like they weren't that good at Haven, and Haven was our best map. We got absolutely smashed. We're just like, what the hell? Like first map. It's always the first map as well. It's always like you're expected to win. It's the first map. And you just heavily underperform.
I always like say it's just teams making out like bandits, because when you lose those series, it's always quickly. By the time you've realized what's happening, you've lost.
Yeah, very much so.
直接是把2楼淹了，2楼我就不去了，然后第2时间去。
Yeah, XLG ran this comp before. They lost to Extreme Gaming day 1. Went back to playing the Sky Cypher against Ratten last time. Yeah.
I think it's a good move, to be honest. Might have done some anti on it, so. Also shows that they're not that confident on this map though, but.
Yeah, but seems natural.
Yeah.
Thing is as well, I guess, is like if you're in a disadvantaged situation in a best of 5 like this, and you know that you have a map like Bind, you're just like, it's so good when you're like, okay, we're terrible at this map, so we know that they're gonna pick it, and we've like prepped at least a little bit.
Yeah. It can be fun like that. That's when you kind of get to see the full like use of a coach or an IGL that works really hard.
Because it's a little bit more nerve-wracking, I suppose, when they pick a map that you're like decent at, because you're like, what if our decent isn't good enough?
就看能不能抱团能下一把枪了，因为手里是不要配嘛，很难操作。
大家都来了哦 ，TP 都过来了，
很聪明，皮蛋下包，那包点完全不去，避免掉枪的一个情况。
两把狂徒现在还是在进攻方手里啊，这种距离对枪，狂徒可以说是只要你不失误是稳吃的。
对。
So far, so good though for
全都是一个
XLG.
情况下，自己有盖壳，皮蛋可以去下包，安全的是退到一个后点。
It's like I was saying to No Man yesterday though. It's like, how does Rare Atom do when they're behind? It's right.
第二时间他们站在这个包点后，确实机会不太大。
对，就
XLG 打得很聪明啊，这包点知道你有人，标配其实近点的3连发也是不好说的。
I mean, no matter like.
除了皮蛋之外
I think last year
那就不一定是什么情况。
是的。
I was really hoping for like a Rare Atom attacking Soul grand final. I wasn't like disappointed that DRG made the final nor won it, but like here, I'm like these were objectively the 2 best teams. They deserve to be here. Series are just naturally getting closer and closer between them. It's a full best of 5 as well. Like I'm happy with whoever wins this series. I'm cheering for Rare Atom, obviously. But there's players on both these teams that I really like.
开启独木这个位置可能有点危险哦 ，Happy Way 是一个高价的枪线。
单摸被
Nice off angle.
要不要开无敌超杀强 RA B 呢？现在对于 XLG 来说要做一个选择题了。
You don't see that off angle from No Man all the time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. It's just because it's anti-official. Like people always take the high ground, and like that's one box that yeah, just never gets used.
有毒伞第一时间是赶不到不了战场了。
是的。
爆能器被安装。
要等一下燃烧榴弹，第一时间看一下 Marlin 这个位置能不能架住，没有架住这个小身位的 pick 很漂亮。
再拖下去的话，我感觉这个回防已经是很难了。
All right, nice. Actually, not that much damage taken. So Sliggy, outside the obvious players, which guys have like passed the eye test for you that might not necessarily like statistically look or get the credit?
I think probably No Man's pretty good, but it just has to be the two Koreans. Like the 2 Koreans for sure look very good. I tell you, I think Mr. Canny is pretty legit as well.
Yeah.
但其实从战术的角度来说，刚才那一份 RA 是有一点点劣势的，有一点被动。
I think the only player I haven't seen like go like really pop off is probably Snowflake.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
But he doesn't need to when you've got everybody else on the squad, right?
Yeah.
差2个点就自己的大招了。给谁？
给炼狱。
炼狱的点其实还挺远的。
Yeah, I remember like when we were looking for a 5th, I kind of just went through like evolution and like all of the teams and was like which players. Even if it was on like 4 AM or 17 Gaming, just teams that made Ascension but kind of bombed out. Like which players like did I enjoy watching? And Mr. Canny and Happy Way were on that list.
Yeah, I would say Happy Way is probably out of everyone. Happy Way is probably impressed me the most. Like consistent heavy fragger on a role that like, I mean they can frag out well, but it's not duelist fragging. So it's nice. They doesn't make many mistakes. Confident enough, but doesn't make many mistakes.
Yeah, probably the most diverse hero pool for a Sentinel player we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of them. But you know that he could probably play Chamber if the meta was there.
Yeah. Yeah, even bought a Vice out, right?
Oh yeah, true.
还得看2楼能不能打开局面，因为2楼第一时间还有烟散了，要不要打呢
？Midnight 如果打一个，他有大的，
对，
就真不一定了。
他要去反绕逼长狼，但是 Apple 两边
shot
倒地，感觉已经不需要再回去了。
Save right.
Noman 和 Midnight 他们俩，尤其是 Noman 吧。
See, this is the problem I have with saving in China. Like they're doing it now, it's the right decision, but because they're not used to doing it. I almost feel that there's that added stress to saving. You know what I mean? Like you're playing differently because it's a grand final and you're playing properly, but you got to be doing this stuff in scrims, otherwise you're gonna get super nervous.
Yeah, that's true. You got to be practicing the same stuff as scrims.
那现在 XLG 这个开局打的其实
Yeah, this is definitely the right call. They got wrecked in this round, man.
并且每个3弱爆能好像都没有遇到太大的阻碍。
Also, maybe Freen was just fighting too much on weak side.
这个艾博的位置以及包姐的位置。
Oh no, sorry, it was somebody else. But yeah, 2 of them got destroyed through smokes.
人都没看到变成5打3了。
对，
这确实比他不太好守。那看一下两支队伍的这个终极技能啊，有毒伞就差1个点，而且 Midnight 的无敌超杀也差1个点。开局的技巧性投掷，舌吻。
Who wins first map? It should be Rare Atom.
给这个碧长狼的。
这个给 Garden 这个连接的位置。
对。
那这个舌吻没掉下来，那你花园怎么清呢？只能等回收好的丢丢再放一次了。
丢丢已经好了。前点的位置是站人了 ，No Man 想要主动 pick 去看配合丢丢。
但是这个身位没有猜到对方已经拉到脸上了。
对。
丢丢的反馈时间其实会有点晚。独木升起来，两支队伍。
Come on, Luigi. Oh man, today's like the last day of watch parties this year.
技能可能不太够了。
Like, there might be off-season events, but I wouldn't say they're very likely.
Freen 的一个舌吻好像不太好去阻止对方的
It's sad.
并且这一分其实是要转 A 的有可能，因为我们可以看到。
But it's also been a really good year.
这个回防是。
We see the 2023 Rare Atom again. We are 5 rounds into a best-of-5 series.
但是好在是 Freen 他没有走很远啊，他第一时间回防还是来得及的，但是这个玩焰火稍微要规避一下。
这玩焰火轰出来，肯定你第一时间管不了。皮蛋下一个车旁边的包。 小黑屋的占领位置，
小道来了，
等一下，再放了。
Oh, they all got chunked. Nice Midnight. I don't really like the peek straight afterwards, especially because the spike is like already gonna be planted no matter what.
A 给追回来了，现在是一个2v2。
I think he just overheated a bit.
就要看他能不能找到机会，他的反绕，而且
浴室一个车后，两边是。
Oh man, was shot again from Martin.
等你低包，
低包定位，
还没
低包我就开大。
拖时间。
At least it's not bind as the deciding map. Yeah.
很懂，他知道，他只能骗出来大招再操作，但时间好像比较紧张，想给燃烧榴弹，但烟散了，燃烧榴弹被弹了一下，很尴尬。拖时间，其实 Martin 就已经能赢了。
Oh man.
已经没时间了。
对，已经赢了这一分。最后
Martin is so good in these situations.
Yeah, he played that to perfection.
是的。
Can't get much better than that.
能够感觉到他们在这样地图是做出了非常大的改变啊！以往
even his peak on the first defuse was like just at 3 seconds. So no matter what, if the guy's trying to get half and is committing, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean Midnight does super well here. I just don't like the wide peak afterwards.
Yeah.
But I like. We all get why. We all get why. Like we all do it.
We've all been there. Yeah. 99% of players are doing that.
That's also like the probably actually the mental side that's taken its toll on me the most since I've started to like actively try to coach people. Is like I feel like I'm nitpicking players for like minor things, but then I go and play ranked myself and I just int like an ape.
Yeah, but it's also different because it's ranked, but they also think that because it'll be like practice and stuff. And this is always thing. Yeah, we always like in an official, I wouldn't do it. And then like they would say the same things in prac, but actually like because it's habits, you do just naturally do it. You have to practice that stuff for it just to become instinct. And that's like the big difference.
Who's the most like overheaty player that you've had or is on Liquid?
It's a lot of them. Probably Yampy, but Yampy learned pretty fast.
Yeah, I still think the way that Yampy approached playing and learning the game is the way to go. Just almost in to the point that it's throwing, but you need to work out what you can get away with.
Yeah, him on Jet for the first 2 months of the game was probably one of the funniest things ever. What's funny is that like we got to Reykjavik and he still was like he had only played the game for a month, so he was doing some mental things. Like he's updrafting with a rifle trying to kill people around corners and stuff. It was funny, man.
What's his kind of like attitude like when he does a play? Is he just like my bad, I shouldn't have done that, or is he just like?
It will be like that. It will be like my bad.
Not that I think he's like he does that and then he's like, guys, what are we doing?
No, yeah.
Why are you guys not peeking with me? It's like you updrafted.
He learns fast. But he learns by doing. And I think that's okay. Like we came into that event knowing that it was wild that we were kind of there anyway.
Yeah, it's really the whole do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
爆能器已经安装，但于是有人在绕 Martin 收掉了对方的 Midnight， 现在又是一个2v2， 但枪械的情况 RA 是极其被动的。
There's always a clip I come back to of God B talking about fundamentals. I'll have to like share it to you because it's like really good even from here on out. It was like when Zesh did an interview with him. But it's just like fundamentals is just discipline. But that's all it is.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. God B's a legend, man.
这个拆包太干燥了，你想在这种空旷的场地
Might be what we were talking about.
Hey Pavlos,
like,
how you doing, bud?
Get to a best of 5. This is meant to be the map that they're most likely to win. You start just losing heavy.
I mean, I said this because No Man was like in the chats yesterday, right? I was like, remember, if you lose the first map, so did EDG.
Yeah, I mean that's the one.
Like first map is a warm-up.
And this is their is this their round though? Damn, these are some good odds.
And the Oh no. Oh no! It looks good. It looks really good.
因为你开无敌超杀的时候，人本体是不会动的。
是的。
这个有点像。
I'm doing good, brother. How about you? Yeah, I'm doing good.
开招狼的时候，或者是开猎枭、开飞机的时候，嗯。
Oh man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Nah, this Ryan, this guy's too good.
There's only one team that's aiming right now.
Look at what he's just done into a full buy round when everyone has their ults as well.
That's a new skin showcase clip right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just needs more inspects.
Yeah, it actually is.
I also don't understand when there's like a grand final like this and a new skin line like Singularity, the new Singularity is about to come out. Well, we don't just go, here's the new skin line, play with, like, you know, play with it on your patch. I mean, I guess there could be competitive integrity issues with some skins like showing people infrared UAV, but
problem is it's just like preference stuff as well. People, especially players when they really get into their head about skins, you see them changing all the time.
I mean, I'm happy with it. It's just placebo. Every time I'm just like, you need a good Phantom, only Phantom. It never lets you down.
Yeah, I don't like that skin. But I don't like many. I don't like many skins, to be honest. I'm only just recent. I'm freshly getting into skins just because I've been able to play more.
You'll have to do a tier list of the skins.
Everything low down. Only a few at the top.
全是在自己的掌控范围内。
好不容易存了很久的钱，骑了把名车，结果刚才什么也没干到。
And this is
丢了分 ，RA 现在
tough.
非常艰难了，两边都在放丢丢。
We need to go B clip. I'll find it at some point.
晚宴或装载直接再轰一个
5发子弹，
而且 Mr. Carney 的位置是个名牌，踩雷飞剑直接丢脸上了。这个时候。 不做太过于激进的举动，一个大拉被架住，但是 Carney 这位置其实能操作的，左右要双拉吗？哦 ，No
Man， Nice from No Man。
就解决了战斗这一分 B
场 really good round. It's a good call as well.
并且打出了成吨的技能收益。
That fade eye not getting shot is everything.
这一波确实是配合这个鬼眼拿到了一波非常好的传言效果，以及在正面的击杀 ，No Man 是打出了。
I think he's been a really good, like, intelligent duelist. Because like we only scrimmed with him what a couple of times, but there was definitely like whole W moments.
Yeah.
Especially when you played stuff like Neon and that, and you're like, yeah, you're like, this is good. You just need to chill because people physically can't help you when you're playing a Satchelin in Raze or a Neon. Like here, I just think he's very good at being aggressive in the right moments, but then he doesn't overheat and peak when he doesn't have to.
Do you know what's mad about this? I've never seen a Fade Eye last the whole time scanning people because he's double saturated down and they're all focused on it. Like no one's shooting the Fade Eye. It's actually a really cool strat if you time the Fade Eye well.
I'd like to see more Fade in the meta, to be honest. I mean, she's a great character. She's probably my favorite character in the game.
Yeah, I think we really will. Depends, because depends what stuff combos with, really.
Oh, they messed up the orb. Yeah, 6-2 scoreline for Sideshow. Fader Supreme unlocks a bad, and I think Pearl 2. I do think Silver Pearl is strong. That's the one thing I remember that people were like actively starting to move over to. Depends how much realistically you want to play and fight for the B site.
这过点，
真下了。
Scabbing left opposite of a Pearl for sure. Oh yeah, I did forget that it was more like Sky that was meta. I'm trying to remember what the meta was towards the end of Pearl. Like, it was Jet, because there was opping. You mostly had like Harbor Viper.
小刀这个位置是感觉还是
This was sometimes Astra.
一个是在小黑屋的门口，以及
Then it was Killjoy.
其实那个位置是很容易。
And then yeah, it would have been Sky. For some reason, I thought it was Fade, but
一个大末位置。
感觉员工重镇
Cloud Comp, yeah. I do wonder if Harbor would be played a little bit now. I guess you probably got Astra Viper. Looks like it. I hate teams that do this.
Never really goes well. Then again, you never know what was like said, what orbs they've got, what prep they have. But yeah, Rare Atom would like if I'm the Rare Atom coach, I'll take this all day.
He's wasting no time. He's just there like, what are they doing? Why are they timing out? It's like, coach, you've wasted 30 seconds just going, what? Huh?
Yeah, it's just like, whoa, have the opportunity to speak here? I was not expecting that one. I think there'd be way more aggro.
Gotta do something to salvage it. Like, it doesn't matter how good your attack is if you're like 9-3 down. It puts way too much pressure on the pistol itself too.
Yeah, right. Low by and best the Viper on.
怕你在回复展开的过程当中已经贴脸了。
那对手不怕哦，他是有玩焰火的。
China timeout. I don't think it's like there are some Chinese teams that will do it. Like any team that fades coaching will do it. But like it's an overall thing.
看看这个位置打过了两个人的双架，想要把 XLG 全部做成夹心饼干。两个人。
Team call it timeouts for no reason when they're ahead by a lot. CN did it a couple of times. Yeah, it's more of a universal thing, but it's probably the one thing that I can never get behind. It's also just such a good like morale boom as well. Where it's like they have clearly made a mistake here. We can take this for the rest of this half.
Yeah, yeah. Like, especially once you win the next round, you're just like, hold up. Yeah, I love this strat, man. This is just a cool strat. Like, number-wise, just 3-person pushing with one singular gun. Where you make such a distraction on the other side with the Viper.
Also, timing out. Maybe it was the thrifty that they were scared of, you know?
Yeah, rightly so, I guess.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
知道 RA 开始打非常规了，先加默认，因为这一分他们大招很多，双方都有一个能够去限制对手的一些技能。
对，我觉得晚安焰火可能更需要打。
I'm gonna ask him. Yeah, you should. Like, there probably is good reasons to do it. I just think that the win rate of doing it, both in the round afterwards and also the series, isn't worth it in the slightest.
第一时间支援，无敌超杀是跟不上的，无敌超杀只能等回防。现在要看 Nomad 他能不能接一个，正面没接到。哦，赵云开起来，晚安焰火直接提这个晚安焰火。
Like if Sean Garris did it when he was on 100 Thieves,
好像也轰不到人。
it'd probably be super smart.
黑小展开回复。
小黑屋想要抓 timing。
Pray for Udatan, but it worked.
回复没了，叶灵直接笼罩对手。Mr. Connie 躲过了，但是被无敌超杀咬到了，直接倒地。暗兽再去清 A 小。 现在进攻方 XLG 的布局是2A 小。
Yeah, XLG look a little bit lost here. not on the same page.
Especially considering the ults and stuff.
You got half.
Here.
Oh, we need to sort out times as well, actually. But oh no, he got the wingman and the wing boy. Nice stick.
Respect. That was close.
Yeah. Literally nowhere of LID's players do like 3 hours of aim lab / deathmatch a day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like the Sire. It's like the Sire play. Did you ever see that thing with Sire play where he says that he warms up for 3.5 hours before games?
How, is he like an 80-year-old man that's just like, I need to like stretch my legs before I go for a shit kind of vibes, you know?
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Just run and run the block before you run a marathon. It's insane.
I also get it, like, if you, maybe it's good for nerves too, right? You just get the energy out.
I mean, it's obviously one of those things for him that's like works.
It's like a ritual,
like,
yeah.
他需要的是把浴室这个位置给混掉了。
还配伪阵亡，点后有 Crystal 的渗透，好像收掉了 Midnight。浴室虽然在防守方的控制之内，但是好像要被包夹了。天际光束定位下来，浴室的包夹到了 ，Mr. Carney 收掉对手。现在进攻方 XLG 他可以把节奏降下来，甚至他可以转点。
You can sort of tell which players are nervous by just the way some of the fight, like freeing there, just the angle that he's on. Like I was thinking, oh, if he's playing aggressively, they've planted, and they hadn't yet.
Yeah. It's just when people start to try and make hero plays as well. There's two ways: hero plays or playing like crazy passive.
Yeah.
爆能器可以安装，但是
I love this combo so much, man.
好像还要被别人吸引注意力。
This comp is really interesting. I'll talk about it in the half in a sec.
直接收掉了点力的 Martin。
二楼来了，有人在架，有人在看。
Yeah, it's a very fanatic thing. Makes me miss Fracture.
That works very well with what I was gonna say. Wait for the turn too fast.
竟然敢直接来。 但是要拆包怎么办？眼里直接出来 ，Snowflake 完全不知道 Crystal 的具体位置。
Big. So
上半场最终还是
this comp was made by 100 Thieves fans, right?
在 A 点其实打了半天啊，是这个棒镜被安装下来之
So
后
that's Zix, right? And he was on EG when they did the fracture. So I reckon like I know the Potter gets a lot of praise, but I think after seeing this comp, I'm pretty confident that Zix came up with their fracture comp and a good way of how to play their fracture.
Yeah, but I mean they played Silver on their fracture, right? But I think it is just
but it's like the same premise of just these are the agents with the best ults, like and we can combo well, and that's literally just like all that fracture combos as well, and they just use the combos and they use the ults just so well, and it just when I saw this comp and they started playing like they were, I was pretty confident that Zix is like a big part of why EG's fracture was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're two maps as well that are very like execute heavy as well.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing Brim. Okay, what's synergized as well with a Brim?
He's you can tell he's a huge fan of having 5 agents that have unreal ults.
Yeah.
一些选手来到我们现场观赛啊。
晋升赛，你要说谁最有经验
Easier to build strats around ultimates too, I think.
Yeah, it gives you so many options, and then also it just kind of snowballs into like a perfect storm, where it's so hard to differentiate what is like their normal strat or what is like an ult strat, and then you can always have like 3 separate strats for your ult strat, and then you just have such a big range when you've got so much of that, and that just means that your playbook's giant. Because when you're anting them, you're just like, well, this is because they got an ult, and then they'll do something like similar without an ult, and then they'll have like 2 more ult strats, and that's just with like 1 agent. It's just so nice. It's like the perfect thing when you're a coach, when you have these kind of agents that you can just do so much with. Like that's why Gecko's sick, man. Gecko's perfect for that.
像盖可这样能够去多一条枪线，去让皮蛋安装爆能器的这样的一个步骤在。
Yeah, we took this comp around that time, but we also took their Sunset, like which was Gecko Silver. which I still think is a really, really strong comp. I just think it's incredibly hard to play.
有鬼眼哦，这个鬼眼感觉屡试不爽啊！只要照出来，第一时间烟里就能直接完成一个穿射。
Like it's much easier to just run Gecko Breach and play with less information, but just hit people super hard. It doesn't matter if there's 3 people there or 1 person there.
Yeah.
要转点。
两支队伍互换雷兹这个位置，防守方可能小赚。
进攻方没有雷兹，就只能推进去了。哎。
I lost Raga already. No man's gone down as well. Defense is tougher though. I feel with less info. Yeah, but also, I mean, I think I was just about to say that Slaggy is having more information on the defense is good. Guys. I think they just thought that they were being spammed through the smoke and just didn't realize that they had flanked.
有毒坦现在腹背受敌啊，1打3局面。虽然爆能器安装了，但是对方等一轮技能就好。
Like, I mean, I'd be curious to get Kipper's opinion on it because I mean, like, we play the different comp now, guys. Come on.
因为又是第一时间有人在架，
时间有点尴尬，所以
只有小黑屋没
过去了。
Oh no, he stuck it.
这拆一半之后，有毒坦也有点。
Well, this was a bit of a round.
Absolutely stolen.
这一分手枪局剧情跌宕起伏啊！
其实当时3个人的架枪线。
10 daredevils in the server.
No, yeah,
blind
really
as a
is,
bat.
居然没有人看，我天哪！完全没人看，包括拆包的队友。好戏剧啊，这一分。
Oh man,
感
good
觉
grief.
其实真的蛮危险的，对于2个队伍都蛮危险的这一分。
Yeah, I think the problem with playing like Gecko Silver on Sunset is like you have the information, sure, but one, you risk more misinformation, and 2, you just don't have the going power.
呀，这还没出来就已经被打了一个。
啊，2个。
爆能器落在 B 区。
Like it puts so much more focus on. I don't know how I'd describe it. Like it puts so much more focus on just being in the right place at the right time than like being able to just win the fights with good utility. Because you have got good utility, but you don't have much stall. You have 1 flash, which is barely a flash in my opinion. Like at the top tier where everybody can play around it.
找我的话，我这把狂怒其实还是有发挥的空间的。
但从 Miss Carney 现在这个血量来说，他一定不会去找的。
就想一把枪都不掉，拿下这一分，因为辽拳比较多，3把。
掉一把枪都巨大的。
有跳的意思了。
这跳下来其实一点操作机会都没有。
对。
第2分没人掉枪，并且
Silver Breach clears. Silver Breach is just the perfect like in between.
哦，从宏观的角度来看 ，XLG 这一分很赚。
I think it really does come down to this whole thing of like. Is a comp like how difficult it is? So like easy to play, hard to play, and then impact. It really is. Some comps are not built different, but I think with like the double initiator stuff, you know, you want it as much like this as possible. But you don't want to go for this because it's difficult. It's going to take time to get good at it. But sometimes it's not about being the best pound for pound as you can be. It's all about being efficient. So you want to be somewhere like here, right? Like you have the players that can do a difficult comp. You want to be doing that. If role-wise, it makes a lot more like sense and stuff.
而且跟 Raga 的一个双架有个非常好的收益。
你给个踩雷飞剑，但是你得捡包，包就在浴室的门口，对方是直架爆能器的。 一点一点拉 ，OK， 先收一个。今年有害灵，但是是一个双架，没给机会。最后一个人是一个暗面，
打一个有机会再打。
We're cooked. Well, I was going to say that they were fine, but now they might be.
队友已经开始回了。
对，现在其实
的位置
2个点局部都是1v1。Free 他现在很清楚，他必须得先拆开1打1打赢一个，但没有听到传送门的声音，所以 B 点的人他一定不会走得很远。你可以看到现在 Crystal 很有经验，他就在重生点门口。我听到低包我就摇队友，因为从血量共享上来说 ，XLG 的选手肯定是知道 Free 是一个非常惨的状态。
Is this rematch curse? Is this nerves? What's going on?
I think this is what we were talking about, pretty heavy, where it's just like you're expected to win this map, and they're coming in free with it, and then they can just focus on some anti. It is nerves, I guess that's the easiest way to say it. It's one of those though, man. It's the same thing. Like having this is nice when you lose, as much as it sounds weird, because that's the embarrassment done.
Yeah, that's the hard part, you know, when like people, I mean, you're on Liquid, Chokers is thrown around a lot, just as an org, not just Valorant. But like how horrible it feels when you're playing and you get that feeling, oh, we're gonna lose this.
Yeah. It only feels bad when it's like back-to-back maps.
Oh, and you're just down in the series.
Yeah, like if it's if it's like two, it's so fine to be completely mentally out of it, or like not even here for one map. When it's like multiple maps, then you gotta start really worrying, because then it's like everyone's just like fully off.
Same as Apex at least as well. Upper bracket team losing their first map. Natural.
并且我觉得那个丢丢有点尴尬，第一时间没有声音的提示，
对，
那个角度比较刁钻，所以这也给了 RA 进点没人。
If you lose those rounds, just reset the mindset for map 2. Sure, it might be. I mean, that's the thing that's always the hardest about it.
One hell of a timeout.
It's just, it's like saying to people like, just don't tilt, right? Just don't tilt when you're like, don't get frustrated. They're like, you can't help how you feel. And trying to suppress those kind of emotions make them worse. Like, I would much rather have a player say in a timeout, in the break, in between maps, even in the game itself, just being like guys, I'm getting so tilted. Or even just like, I mean, it was Fnatic, right? I think Minnie was saying like, Leo at halftime was like, guys, I'm fucking freaking out on Icebox when they were down. He was like, I'm like tilted, I'm stressed, like. And then you have all of the clips where Posters making fun of the fact that he's like, Leo just was out of it. It just diffuses the situation completely. And if a player like Leo starts fucking falling apart, anybody can. I don't really know how you deal with it, you know? Any tips on passing your A levels? Don't try to like raw dog all of the studying. Like I think you'll infinitely have a better time with your A levels studying and preparing for them if you just give yourself like even 15 minutes to just go over each of the things that are coming up. If you've got like 3 exams in a week, it does 3 exams what you need to like what you've been told to basically revise. Don't just do like one day all of it, one day all of it kind of thing.
XLG 这样的回防人数劣势竟然打赢了！天哪！哎，这个包
Yeah, they're fine.
还是来得及的啊，时间还挺多。还有
Yeah, it's just not been working for Atom.
2比4，第一张对手的选图 ，XLG 有非常大的机会能。
Yeah, I'd say that's the easy thing. A lot of stuff that I did at like A levels and even at university was coursework and projects. Does Happy Way remind you of J. Kuro a bit? With how he's playing? Not really.
强起了，这个起的枪会比较乱和杂，但是他们这一分是有一个无敌超杀来作为自己的兜底技能进点。
Resemblance, to be honest, with how they look.
直接选择抱团一波 A 小。
I mean, I think I'm just overconscious of saying 2 Chinese players look alike, right? Because I feel like that's so easy for people to be like, "Well, what are you trying to say?" Like, well, no, I don't mean like that. Not baiting, yeah. You know, I know you're definitely not baiting, but I'm also just terrible with faces anyway, so it's kind of like 2 problems stacked on top of each other. Like, there was somebody in the audience with a BLG jersey, and I know that they're a player, but I couldn't work out which player it was. I know it's not Wisey, but I was trying to like go through of like who is it?
正面的一个传射 ，Ragar 架住了对手。看包点，看包点，打得非常的混乱。但 XLG 竟然好像又要有机会创造第一张地图的胜利，先拆一半。Midnight 最后还是
These retakes are really good from XLG.
I was just in shock how they made that one near doable. And like honestly, they should have won it because if the Raze just holds onto the ult for longer,
yeah,
secured.
They played that 1v2 a little bit closer together.
Yeah, it was just the Raze.
Overheat.
Yeah,
because they were peeking whilst Happy Boy was getting half.
Yeah, I mean,
if you get half and then you both go for that peek, it's done so.
It's just legit. As soon as he's got his ult there, like if the guy just holds it, you're gonna just kill him as he swings out for him, like with the ult, no matter what. You just bait the partner with your ult.
Let's see if it's the Ascension winners and also Champions winners lose the first map and then win the series. See what happens here and then keep an eye out for it for M80. It's just impressive how often Rare Atom end up in like a 1v3 post plant. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, no, it's been non-stop. This Happy Way guy has done so much in this half, I tell you.
Yeah. What a performance.
Yeah, they absolutely wrecked him first map. But I'm telling you, this is the bounce back, man. This is the, well, that was embarrassing. It can't get much worse than this. Why are we all nervous? Doesn't matter anymore. Like we all look like this being the nicest way possible. Like I would literally just be like, the worst just happened. Like we all just look like idiots. Like how does it feel? It's fine. We talked about this the other day, right? Like hold up, we're all alive. Everything's good. Like we can still win. Like it's fine to have this.
Yeah. It's just like this was our like safety net a little bit, but we don't need it. The majority of series that we win in a year are best of threes. We win this next series, we have a best of 3 on our hands. Nothing else matters. And it is still a best of 3 where you have the majority of your best maps. But like in those instances, you know, with like saying like about like choking and becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, like when you're a player and your intuitive thoughts almost start going like, we're going to lose this series, like we're going to get to the grand finals and lose, and it's going to happen again, the August curse or whatever. Like what do you even say to players to, because you said about like Boaster being like, yeah, and what? Like if we lose, I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
Like how do you even approach when your own brain starts, because it's like it's natural, right? Like when you start getting those kind of like bits of anxiety, it's because your brain senses danger and it's like trying to protect you, but also it's not useful in these instances.
Yeah, but I feel like losing a map does sometimes just feel like you can get so demoralized that you can like go through the whole feelings of like losing the whole thing just from losing a map, because you know how like the mental coaches always speak about this, how it's like staying in like the present instead of the future or the past and stuff like that. And normally everyone's just so in their heads about the future, especially when it's like winning. They're always thinking like, oh man, it'd be so cool to win and stuff like that. When this happens, it's like you go through all of the emotions of like actually losing, that everyone kind of just gets a reset from it, and it's like, well, the worst has happened. Let's see if we can pull it back.
Because we had it when Odd One Out was trying to requalify for Game Changers at the start of this year, because we were like the highest seed in the tournament from last year, the year before's results. We were playing up against like unsigned teams that we should be beating, but we were like losing. And it was just like the way the players were talking in between the second and third map. Like they were saying things, you know, like, yeah, we got this, but just the way that they were talking made me feel like, oh man, we've lost this already. Like, and it's so hard to know how to even address that. But it just feels that there's like huge like elephant in the room of, we're going to a third map that we're not that confident with, and everybody's nervous. Like it's so hard to stump. Like it feels to me that the only way to get through that as a player is to just keep doing it more, and the impact of it gets less and less.
You got to experience it. Like it's the best way. And then you just realize that there's more chances. This one is like what's going on now with these guys. It's very inflated because they're not gonna get many chances. Like in tier 1, like it's a good, like Heretics are a good example, right? Every single time getting second is just like, but they know they're gonna have more chances, whereas these guys might like feel the pressure because it's like, well, hold on.
Do or die, yeah.
Oh yeah, are we actually gonna have an extra chance to do this? So yeah, it's a lot for their mental. It's just why it happens so much in big. You could definitely do a study at the moment. I'm trying to think of how many best of 5s I've seen where like the first map, the favored team gets absolutely blown out. Because off the top of my head, like obviously I remember the one that we had against Guilds. I remember like this one, EDG finals and champs. Like there must be so many examples.
That feels like a comment video right there. You know,
yeah.
Send him the clip and be like, all right, tell us the storylines of the best of 5s.
Yeah.
Like, which ones were thrown, which ones were clawed back, how were they clawed back?
Yeah, M80 last night, that works as well. Maybe M80 did okay though, like, but they were still blown out. It would be cool to get like a mental coach to actually talk about it as well. Like, what's the main reasoning for it? Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah, no worries.
时隔1年的时间，重新站上决赛舞台的 RA 能否在这一次完成未完成的心愿，全胜夺冠呢？而这也是 XLG 与 RA 的3番战了。几经沉浮的他们，能否在今天复仇成功？在这场千军万马过独木桥的征途中，只有一方能笑到最后，究竟是谁呢？让我们听听现场粉丝们的声音吧。 XLG 加油！今天事不过3，一定能打败进入 VCT CN。
I muted on the wrong mic. The champs gambit that they're giving out. The only problem is that when all of these people are arrested for having knives, like the police will be like, why are we arrested so many people with these replica knives? Is this like a gang thing? They all have just karambits. But nope. Yeah, what were the stats for that one? The one thing I hope is that the players... I mean, I don't know what it'll be like. I imagine that there's probably rules that you just can't have your phone in between maps. I don't know, actually. There's definitely people that tweet. I'll have to ask Slinger when he gets back. I'm actually not too sure. Stuff like quiet, free and quiet. No man, not too bad. Like usually the benchmark I put is like 200 ACS. You want to be around there. You don't need to like being 190 is fine considering you got kind of blasted. Like being 170 when everybody else is above, you know. This just sort of shows that it was a good team performance. But like this is wild that the Gecko is finding the first kill so often. I know it's sort of easy to look at it and be like, well, Rare Atom only planted like 5 times. And then XLG planted 10 times and won 8 of them. So it's like, it's all about the post-plants, like the retakes and post-plants, whichever side you're on. But I think it was just because so often Rare Atom went into a, like, post-plant situation down on numbers. That's just tweeted in between maps. Yeah, maybe. But they might have also, like, social media teams that will do it for them. I'll have to ask. But, like, I don't think I'd be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, in between maps, checking my phone. All of the people just, especially all of the betters that will just be like, what are you guys doing? The throwing kind of thing.
随时随地不错过心仪皮肤，指尖一挥秒查通行证的进度，每日商店手机购买，战斗通行证实时查询，就来掌上无畏契约 APP。庆祝 VCT CN 全球冠军赛首冠无畏契约福利活动火热进行中。 冠军通行证享22点。
Alright, I'm gonna go finish my cup of tea whilst this is going on.
VCT CN 首冠定制游戏卡面、称号、掌瓦称号、EDG 队伍甄选返场套装正在售卖，更有全平台共庆奖励，福利多多，记得参与哦。
好的，那也是我们回到今天最后的一个晋升赛总决赛的比赛当中啊。今天确实在图1 RA 进入状态比较慢，接下来会来到双方第2张地图日落之城。我觉得日落之城这张地图其实两支队伍应该会有很多的准备，但是在比赛开始之前，我们还是要去先听一段现场维嘉对于现场的采访吧。
Hello， 大家好，欢迎来到场中采访，我是维嘉。恭喜 XLG 赢下了第1张地图的胜利。我们在现场也是抓到了2位非常熟悉的面孔，我们先和大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是 Nick。
欢迎 Nick。
Hello， 大家好，我是 Luke。
欢迎 Luke， 2位也是特意来现场给2支晋升赛的队伍加油。那首先想问一下 Nick 选手，因为作为去年晋升赛的冠军，在今天的2支队伍里，有没有你自己特别关注的选手呢
？I 的 Frame 吧，因为他给我看到像那个 Vorgasio 的影子。
Yeah, like this. I know these 2 players.
那也想问一下 Luke
选手 ，Is it Luke?
对于这场比赛，有没有你印象？
It's Luke and Nick, is it not?
我觉得是。
I thought he was wearing a BLG jersey. That's why it threw me off.
莲花古镇有一个失误，在对枪的失误，但他今天可能因为昨天的失误，让他今天的。
Like I'm confident that this is Luke, but I'm not sure if this is Nick.
赛前采访的时候，马丁也说到，其实昨天是犯了一些小失误，但是可以看得出来他们。
But it made more sense if it was.
今天调整的也很快。那接下来也想问一下2位，有没有什么话是想要
？Team went to Shanghai, calling themselves DRG Official. Yeah.
真正的挑战才刚。
Hell of a story.
确实，真正的挑战才刚开始。那 Luke 呢？
就是晋升赛跟联赛是有很大的差距的。
I need your help.
要好好加油。
If you're hurt.
好好加油，一起努力。OK， 那再一次感谢2位接受我们的采访。我们
的
采访到这里就先结束了，期待一下2支队伍的精彩表现，加油！
I'm just like, is that Luke/Nick or?
2名选手的采访啊，其实对于 Luke 也好，或者是对于 Nick 也好
，Am I getting it wrong?
赛肯定是有着特殊的情感的，就像我们现在面前的这一座冠军奖杯一样。2支队伍都离这个冠军奖杯可能就差1步，而今天在开始的这一步 ，RA 走的并不顺利。他们在自选图里输掉了对手之后，那现在会来到对手的选图日落之城。这张地图其实2支队伍在上一次交手当中是有过一些交手记录的，当时是 XLG 以13-10战胜了 RA。然后2支队伍在这张地图晋升赛其实是战成了1比1平的。那接下来今天这场将会
Same comps. Looks like it.
谁的晋升赛发挥更好一些？
是的。2边的一个阵容上面的一个使用率的话是100%，目前是没有变正的情况。其实包括从这个地图胜率
I messaged Noman this morning just beforehand.
胜率2边还算是比较平均的哦。
是。
这张地图2边可能会打出一个比较均势的状态，就要看 RA 调整之后的一个状态了。因为刚刚图1确实有点不尽人意，对于他们以往的表现来看。
Yeah, he didn't respond.
刚才就像 Luke 所说，就。在之前昨天的一些发挥比较差或者不尽如人意的地方，今天将会是你更好的动力。
对
，Martin 今天确实在第1张地图拿到了一个非常关键的残局，当时他在浴室那个 A 点的门口，所以我能感觉得到 XLG 他现在所有的选手，尤其是 Martin 选手憋着一股劲儿的。我不知道他在台上如果听到了场下这个 Luke 和 Nick 的采访，他会有怎样的感受？但是我知道他现在一定会把所有的精力、把所有的力全都用在比赛和游戏当中。
看一下，来到图2，日落之城。这张地图之前的话 ，XLG 是3胜1负的一个状态。RA 是一个2胜1负，感觉2边的一个战绩差不多。
对，
没有太大的悬殊。
并且双方的攻防都是进攻方拿分更多，防守方拿分相比于进攻方少一点。那无论如何，接下来会来到双方第2张地图。日落之城的较量，我们来看一下双方在手枪局的起枪以及落位的情况。小地图已经看得很清晰了，霓虹体系上来先去看看你 B 点强度咋样啊？
拿信息，一个人 free， 哦，这个位置得赶紧走哦，对手
有半线，踩了一下，但是被秒打。
对，稍微的可以去拖一拖对手进攻的一个时间。这波是骗的。知道你这个 B 点可能是一个重手的情况下，先控一个球，因为 Happyway 其实已经摸到了 A 点前面，没有回防的 Noman 是一直在骗。
Nick and T-Virus Luke in the audience. I don't know if you saw. He did. Yeah, I was trying. I saw Luke in the audience, but I thought he was wearing a BLG jersey, so I was like, wait, who is this?
中路没有人。
And I was like, oh no, wait, that is Luke. It makes sense because it's DRG. But I was like, is it Nick on the left?
其实是在等。
We were literally just talking about it because Sprite was saying, don't you think the Happy Way looks a bit like J. Kuro? And I was like, I don't, even if I felt like I agreed, I don't feel comfortable saying that two Chinese players look similar, because I think that's just opening up people to be like, oh, what? You're saying that all Chinese people look the same? That whole like shebang? It's like, no.
就至少是一个1换1。
但是其他点位现在角度好像也并不是很好，中路 RA 压的比较凶，所以让 XLG。
And I was like, okay, alright, it's Luke, but I wasn't sure if it was Nick on the left.
爆能器是没有问题，能够成功安下来。
Like, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you who.
对，会这个包得绕吧？如果全走正面的
Like TZH, Nick, Xion.
会好穿一些。
而且 Nomad 手里是有踩雷飞剑啊，他是能够去压这个。
Second map XLG 39 and we're out of 30-0 map 3 on Lotus again in a grand final. That would be funny. Aftershock's good. Good no man, he's so low though. Yeah, he can't be peeking first. Last even. Is it Lotus? Yeah.
两个人想去强行逼通，结果双双阵亡。那首枪局 XLG 是又再次拿下。
是的。
It's going the other way now. XLG are winning all the pistols.
Yeah.
想要是去
It's hard for Rare Atom to get any kind of confidence when this keeps happening.
还是 Happy 为那个位置信息获取太多了。虽然他只换掉了一个人，但是他拿到的信息远远不止一个击杀这样的价值。
对。
Couple of DRG pistols as well.
第一针是没有压到这个。 门板后
trying to work the magic.
起了一把飞将辽拳以及2把狂徒。这个单向烟有一个小身位的。
Get ready for 2023 again. Well, it's not on. The game isn't on New Year's Day, like New Year's Eve. So.
第二波还是橘色。
Oh, it's crazy that Ascension was over Christmas last year. I mean, I guess it's because like China naturally doesn't really celebrate Christmas.
但是要小心。 要轻点前点会不会藏人？
So it's not surprising, but it's like trying to do work, if you want to call it that, over that period is so weird.
杀回马枪想看啊，但是这逼头人太多了。
飞机开路，但是他20滴血。
What the fuck is Raga doing? It would be so fun and so sad at the same time. I think the realization I just had is I would want Rare Atom to also win because I think that their classic bundle would be better.
刚才你有雷兹的雷都没打赢，这一分我感觉。
Apex I think would have a better classic than Pacific. M80 would have a really good classic too.
包点烟，暗眼推了，有巡地剑，哦，这巡地剑给的太刁钻了，立刻给上，再给雷击剑，再电死一个 Crystal。
Nice try.
开出爆能器，所有的危机都化解于无形，并且配合自己队友的对枪，让这一分拿到的异常轻松。
前点的位置还
Yellow green classic, yeah, but if it's like a neon yellow.
伤退出来哦，这个回防确实这个标配是。
That has been my problem with the wolves and even the vitality skins. Vitality makes more sense because vitality is more yellow than like an amber. Like it's a very just like piss yellow. But the wolves one, you expect to be more like vibrant, like amber. Which is kind of like my favorite color, at least. So I was like, oh, wolves' classic is going to go insane. But it ends up being pretty like, again, like piss colored.
这个点位其实是我们经常会聊到的一个位置啊。A 长狼，你要选择怎么控？盖克和雷兹3个人。 对面有3个人已经到了，没有任何的技能，直接。
Oh man, the triple peek.
Raga 打出了一波双杀。
虽然他是一个干拉，但是他有3个人在拉。
I think doing this against this comp as well is also
风险很大，这样前压的话。
risky.
Sending it a bit. They're trying to have confidence, so they're just forcing stuff a lot of it.
这个爆能器还没下呢。
暗眼在推，下目地线已经给了，包还没下。
Might as well play triple duelist at that rate though.
零点秀探找到了2个。
但是防守炮也下不来这个楼梯。
就要看马林这个位置能不能顶住了。3个人想要换位置去回防，因为第一时间的话有烟的掩盖。
I mean, like Rare Atom lost a majority of retakes and post plants, but I don't think it was like they were losing so many plays beforehand that it just means that XLG are just like, all right, we'll confirm the round by playing the objective then. Rare Atom just can't come back into it.
直接对枪1换1，但不解渴啊！拐角的人已经是 被对方接住了。那现在最后一个残局的2打1，友情利剑抓管道被 Martin 架住，长枪分又没拿下。RA 今天
I dare you not pick Silver or Breach or both on this map.
有点被对方压制住了。
对。
I mean, the thing is like the only discernible argument I think that you can really have for using this comp in my eyes is comfort. That you're more comfortable and you feel like you're going to have more impact on Gecko than you would do a Silver. And that you feel like you'd have a better time playing KO than you would do a Breach. However, if you then don't play around your utility and instead just hold angles and off angles, and it doesn't really matter what character you're actually playing, then the more aggressive way of thinking about it, Jesus. The more aggressive way you can think about it is like you're holding the game hostage with the characters that you're playing. And then you're just not using the utility. It's got to be infuriating. Hey, Anders. Keko is back. Yeah, like, I'm not necessarily that much of a fan of it either. But, like, it's what I was just saying, Anders. Like, because this Rare Atom team only, like, this is the first tournament that they've played with, like, 2 other players. Like, because it's China, they just swap people around like they're fucking Lego pieces. But, that you go, okay, we're not going to play what's like meta, what has impact, what gives us a bit more robustness with anti-stress, because these guys have played this map 3 times this tournament alone. And you're like, I want to play Gecko KO. It's like, what's up?
Can you give me a little time on your timeout?
13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go, and it's gone. You want me to still keep counting?
No, we're good. Maybe a second behind you, but we're right.
Wow, this is one of the few instances where the EMEA trophy is better than the China one.
Yeah, maybe the first time ever.
First time ever, yeah.
Still not bad though, the trophy. Like, it's not a...
No. It's not the EMEA trophy.
Yeah, first time. Yeah, you talking about the VCT one?
Yeah. Looks like an Easter egg, like wrapped. But there's no chocolate in the middle, so it's even worse.
XLG 完全对这个 A 大没有想法，反正我已经把这个半线给挂上来了。你要前压我一是会，中路。
Alright, nice for free.
打掉了一个市场的位置。
Right, you have the advantage. You have got no man in a pretty aggressive position. XLG also just know that like they're gonna keep peeking. That's nice. It's just it is sometimes just that simple.
掉青的点位也很多，被混掉了。
暂停回来之后 ，Free 状态立刻有所提升啊。
Who knew? I mean, this is a little bit troll from Snowflake. Like, you don't have the money to be fucking walking around The Last of Us style. But go off. This trophy looks like a dead flower. I mean, synergizes nicely with the whole like Lotus branding of China. You have the title set for XLG versus CCG. I mean, it should have updated. Try refreshing. Yeah. Try refreshing. It should have changed. I mean, I'll double check, but.
其实 XLG 这个阵容真的挺怕霓虹手死的。你可以看到他们手死之后打的就很奇怪了。
因为霓虹掉了，其实很多技能都是服务于霓虹的嘛。没有霓虹的情况下，很难去进点。
你主角没了。
Do you also stream in that Chinese website? Do you know?
有点跟不上。
I'm pretty sure the Chinese websites, streaming websites don't allow any form of like multi-streaming.
肩上的责任挺重的，很多时候前点的位置都需要他去清点。这个战术经理
还是要打市场。山坡地线给的怎么样？山坡地线加暗眼
还可以。
给机会就能有所收益吗？但是他其实已经做的不错了，后续再给技能。 打下来一半的局势
，Good omen ult. Really nice omen ult. No Man's in a really good spot though here. Now he's at risk. I thought for a second that these guys were going to group up to hold this, but it's worked out well. I don't like that these guys are going further away and No Man's trying to close back. And now he's checking like his own spawn. How you been finding China Ascension so far? Bittersweet, I think. We put it this way, with when Boaster was saying about like the quality of Madrid wasn't good and that they could beat a lot of those teams. I know he got clowned on a lot because they kept losing, but I also fully understand that kind of feeling. Of like some of the teams here in Ascension were the ones that knocked us out of tier 2. And then just watching them kind of collapse is like, man, that's super disappointing. Alright, nice from No Man. It was risky. A little bit whiffy, but... I didn't catch a tomfoolery of M80 versus AK. Really, outside of EMEA and China, I've not been watching Ascension. I've been cheering for M80 because I love BCG. I think he's a standout guy. Madrid was actually a horrendous tournament, let's be real. But the quality? I mean, I don't know. I don't know about the quality. There was a good amount of teams that were at Madrid that were at every, like, at least another international event. 8-team international tours suck? Yeah, of course. But I wouldn't say that the quality was super bad. Yeah, I saw that M80 went to lowers. Was it AK that knocked them to lowers, or was it the team that's in the grand final? 2G.
Well, that's absolutely devastating for them. Yeah, I feel like XLG are calling really well as well. Like, I think they've done a good amount of anti.
Yeah, well, with series like this, it almost feels that you could have guessed the Vitas pretty easily in what order too. So you're like, all right.
We know the 5 maps that it's going to. They destroyed into sight here with 4 ults and used none of them. Like, I think they've looked into the tendencies of how they like to call.
You see that much yet?
硬要说的话 ，RA 其实也急了，他想等这个暗眼的持续时间之内，把管道经典的人清了。那现在
to comment at him.
又是一个即将要被拉开的这种分差感觉。
大招非常多，要开路了 ，Raga。Crystal
上一分其实是留了自己的大的，没用的。
I just think that like Rare Atom are playing on such a high line. Like you're playing weak side on A, you got Cypher utility, yet you're still on super aggressive off angles against a breach comp. I don't think you just sit and wait to retake, but I think you move a lot more. At least you give yourself a way out. How would you rate the average quality of Neon plays in China? Pretty high. I think duelists have been mostly impressive, but mostly just more intelligent. Just as I say that. I seen him. No, he didn't.
跟队友说了，应该给你了呗。
但是关键现在 NOMAD 的位置进攻方 XLG 不知道啊。Mr. Carney 要成这个倒霉蛋了，先看一下中路这个对枪。
Oh, NOMAD goes down anyway, so they don't even realize how much they might have pushed. Like this off angle is crazy. Praying was aware of it though, so I guess they were like they could have just walked up. So I think NOMAD probably called like they could have got timing on me here.
我有点想看一下，等看一下这一波的回放。
哦，又是一个侧身，打过了市场的位置。这个回放。
柳暗花明
I can't help feel, but like just Rare Atom just lost this in the mid round again. There's a certain amount of time, like let's push mid when we're like even on numbers at this time, with only a couple of us, and then one of us is in B main alone.
But I mean, they got a little bit unlucky on this round, I guess. But I feel like did the Rays see the guy in sight? He did, right?
He might have done. He didn't ping it. But he went to look as the crowd started to like stir.
Yeah, it started to start.
So I don't know if he looked, didn't see anything, but then said like he might have got timing on me.
Because they didn't look like 100% for it, but I swear, like when he peaked, he should have seen it.
And just woke up early, didn't he? Or maybe, arguably, he might have not gone to bed yet. Why it feels like I'm watching M80 yesterday. It's crazy. You just have so many like experienced players with a huge amount of knowledge. How much that just goes out the window. Even just there, right? Like. Rare Atom just feel like a team that isn't used to going backwards. It's like you have two players on the A site whenever everybody else is like mid or B. And you even have like Cypher utility, and you're playing ahead of it on off angles. You're just inviting XLG to just keep hitting you and keep surprising you like this.
Yeah, there's a ward where they double time on here.
This is the side that Rare Atom chose as well.
想拆包时间也不够了，
主要是 RA 现在想拖人下水，反正我是要送包的，你走不走？想炸，想把大招抽得快一点，
但其实也不会被炸死，撤得够快。啊
？Surprising amount of people died to the spite, but money is fine for the rest of this half for XLG. That's the worrying thing.
这个爆能器能波及到。
哎，那这样的话
，on a mega fuck sleep schedule, haven't slept yet.
但现在这个小赚并不
没有用
啊！
你得拿分才行。现在经济其实对于对手来说就还好，哪怕掉再多枪。
I mean, is it going to continue to be fucked? Are you going to be watching Pacific Ascension?
再跳过去。
就差一步。
教练也笑了。
Has Rare Atom dropped off all of a sudden? They've just nerves, I'd say.
RA 其实教练很清楚，这样打下去，图2也没了。
对。
Teams just not used to being in these kind of environments.
图2对于他们来说也是很想把这个地图给拿下来的，因为之前打过的胜率也不是很差。
You have to take meetings for opposite time zones. Ooh, eyes emoji.
来说是一个非常不能接受的局面，
并且现在好像没有好转的趋势。
我觉得现在他们就是有一点找不到节奏了。
I try to work out like you staying up to do meetings, so that'd be Pacific. China.
对，除了 Free 那一波
not EMEA. Then again, would you want to go to EMEA at this rate?
在对方铁壁捏阵的时候都没有抓住这样的机会。
I think out of all four the regions, sorry, it's probably the least enticing.
对于他来说，
真的很
少见。
太夸张了。有毒坦和 Free 这两名选手是目前
He's probably not making a crazy salary. He can't farm much clout.
数据最好的两名选手。他今天都打成这个样子，可想而知正面的压力得有多大了。
两个人。
而且看到的是幽影和猎枭啊，
是
这俩人
Yeah, best of luck with it.
单挂的，肯定旁边队友不少。
Was Rare Atom a heavy favorite pre-match versus XLG? Yeah, I mean, in this tournament so far already, Rare Atom have beat XLG twice. In their group, in the upper bracket like finals, and then third time's here. My initial prediction though, like, if people ask me who I think wins the first time out of Rare Atom and XLG, I said I want Rare Atom to win. It's done. It's so done. Do you think it'd be 3-0? It's looking like it's going in that direction right now.
That was a nice round though. I like this.
Yeah. Feels like it's done so though.
It does feel like it's done. They're not even here.
有两个人是没有吃到任何的限制效果的， 但是这个补枪来的真的是太快了，
交叉火力、补枪效率以及中路这个钉子，
这个渗透以及
How quick they are, yeah.
非常完美的一波战术。
我觉得从选手个人状态和团队配合以及技战术上来说，这一个回合 XLG 都是。
But yeah, I said the first time that if Rare like this will be the grand final for one, and it was. And if Rare Atom win that first game, XLG win the second. Like there'll be a revenge match because people were asking me like why I think that like why is there a disadvantage for the upper bracket team? I'm like no. I almost think that the fact that you have no disadvantage is the disadvantage in itself.
刚好回头看到了，两个人双架没问题。
闪波地先给上，再给矩阵余波，闪吃全摆，但还被为但明奈的只能是边打边撤，还被为去追击，边打边撤好像也不太行，还被为追击掉了对方 Midnight。A 点又是再次门户大开。
Bayern smiling right now because of 8-2. Anybody know any Bayern fans that we can just at when this happens? Do you follow this Ascension or do you watch the others too? If yes, do you think Apex M82G can compete in a franchise league? I watch EMEA because like Apex is like the team from my region, so we were cheering them on. For M82G, I've not really watched much of their games. Maybe I watch a bit tonight, but I'm not that fussed, to be brutally honest. Like I'd rather catch the VODs, catch the highlights kind of thing.
就是他至少要保证打一个再加阵亡。
For Apex, I don't know. It depends kind of what roster moves that you make. I just think the fact that you're only there for at least a year now, and like you have to move your operations to Berlin and stuff, it's already going to cost Apex a lot to be a part of the league. And like, what roster moves can you make? If anything, you're trying to just hold off keeping Kaya. I wouldn't want to see any roster changes happen to that team anyway. Because I think the most obvious change would be, like, Hype. But Hype has been fantastic. Like, Soulcast has been great. Evolver has been, like, great.
果然 ，Nomad 应该是给队友发了一把。哦哟，全看到了！哇，这0点就弹收益高，高处 Nomad。
You can't even say that the players aren't experienced, right? Because you've got like BCJs and Nismo's been there before.
高出了自己的无敌超杀，把管道这个位置清干净了。
莎莎是给出来，但没有第二时间回收的机会喽。而且可能
Net 2, yeah. I mean, Net's been on the winning side, right?
不想让你去回收打第二波，有
但是有他有点忍不住了，他忍不住了，他忍不住了。我的半线被发现了。现在你该忍一下。
They're gonna get dropped again. Surely somebody would pick him up from the league anyway.
1分钟，要看 Crystal 的单摸，但 B 点有半线，所以你想摸到威胁对手 Snowflake 的位置也不太可能。
The other thing I'd worry about really is
看一下青点的位置。
not Rare Atom. Maybe Rare Atom would drop their operations if they lose. I doubt it though. They seem pretty committed to Valorant. But like M80. Because M80 are heavily involved in other esports like CS. And like with tier 2 just objectively getting worse for sort of organizations in Valorant. Yeah, I could see a world where M80 is like, nah, it's not worth it. Gonna go to Deadlock instead. Alright, I mean, good round, but damage is done, it feels like.
3分不太够，但是对于他们来说还好不是2比10。
Is it true that if DRG don't make champs, we'll be going back to tier 2? Yes and no. It depends on where you finish. Because you have like Ascension 2025. It's a weird S. Basically, if you finish top 4, which means that you go to champs, you go into VCT 2025. Like you keep your spot. There is a situation and scenario where this happens where you do go down, but we'll talk about that. So it's like 5th to 8th, I think it is. If you finish 5th to 8th, you get relegated out of VCT, but you play in Ascension 2025. So let's say if Attacking Soul played next year, like they go through China Nationals and stuff, CCG kind of thing, those orgs, they'll go into here. And if DRG finish 5th to 8th, they will also go into here. So they do get relegated out, but they play in a tournament to come back in. If you finish 9th to 12th, you're just instantly booted out. You don't get a chance to play Ascension. If you finish like bottom 4 teams, it's just you are relegated. Try next time next year. So it's basically that. Mid-table finish, you get a chance to play again. Bottom tier finish, you don't. If you go top 4, you don't need to play Ascension, you'll go into next year. The only way that you don't go into next year is if the 2 Ascension teams, let's say XLG wins this series and XLG wins the series, they qualify for VCT. If XLG and DRG both make champions, whoever has the worst finish goes and gets relegated down to Ascension. So it could be the champs grand final could be XLG versus DRG, and if DRG lose, they would go down to playing Ascension. Yeah, and it is only for Ascension teams. There's so many players here from XLG. That's a good flash peek, actually. Like, that seems really finicky to do, but that was like, seamless. That's tough, yeah. And MRB, I would keep their spot. I can see a world, nobody agrees with me this, I could see a world where by 2027, 2028, the leagues are scrapped. We go back to an open scene. We go back to what it was like pre 2023. The open scene is what made me fall in love with Valorant. Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd like the leagues more than I do. Is it in 2027 is the new term or something? Yeah, it's like 3-year cycles.
Are you a believer?
Maybe.
Okay.
Got to start from somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
But I also think that maybe XLG clowned a little bit at the start of this round. This like flash peek jump through the smoke though was
awesome.
Really nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the leagues in the sense that a competitive ecosystem wouldn't exist without them. Yeah, that's the downside. I mean, I don't know. It really, the thing that people say is like there was so much interest and drive around orgs being invested and involved in Valorant before the leagues. But it's like, yeah, because they wanted to be in the leagues. Like, I do feel for Ascend as an organization, but the way that they're wording it, you know, it's just, you know, we did so well, we did loads of stuff, and Tier 2's falling apart, so we're leaving. It is just a bit like, yeah, because you wanted to get into partnership with Riot. And I do feel for you. You sort of did everything they said. Like, you have to sort of rebrand away from Raise Your Edge because they don't like gambling sponsors. But also, that should have been enough of a tell at that point. Like, that conversation should have happened years ago of just, when it comes to a partnership league, is it a problem that we are owned by a gambling company? And I think the conversation probably went along the lines of, no, but your main revenue source cannot be from Raise Your Edge. You need to find sponsors. You need to find other ways of making revenue. And I think that's maybe where Ascend just failed. But they, like, 99% of their revenue came, like, the budget for the team came from a resource that Riot isn't particularly a fan of. I mean, it still feels like a crazy amount of damage done. And Freying's not being able to save a gun either, so...
He still doesn't get a gun right as well at the end.
No, I don't think so.
That's giant. They did so much damage.
Just team deathmatch a little bit there. Yep, he's still He has a rifle, but I think he only did have a
得了下
ghost.
一回合的钱。
Yeah, yeah.
2把狂徒来作为团队的英雄枪。关市场的门，那就意味着你要重手必痛。
Intel esports in the future. It works in China because the cultural impact of esports is. It's not a joke over there. You're a rock star if you're an esports
而且
player.
补枪收掉了 Midnight， 现在人数优势已经倒向了 XLG 这一边。
Here it's just like
等你安装好了爆能器之后
this player won $1 billion in the first like Deadlock tournament. Maybe he should go outside and touch grass. Maybe his next challenge should be to get a girlfriend. Every single fucking time without fail.
2个闪电爆破。
哎，等等，这边打过了。
Oh man, Raga is just. He's a barbarian, isn't he? He just he cleaves people.
2个人全部集火。
I've never seen him just get one. If he goes in and gets one, he gets
虽
3.
然用个人能力 ，RA 在点里接了几个，但我刚刚数了几个，至少6、7个这种控制。
But it was a story like last year, was it? Where somebody completed Tetris after the game being out for around 50 plus years. It's the 70s, right? The Tetris game. I might have even been earlier. But 50 years, and people got past the level that they thought was impossible, and they completed a game that's been around for 50 years. And you have people making jokes about like, man, what a fucking sad sack. I'm like, how cool is that though? Also, you've got people from the younger generation playing a game from when my dad was like
所以我们一般
young.
看到的经济雪球滚起来更快的都是进攻方。无敌超杀直接开。
What Valorant is for a lot of the people in the audience, Tetris was for my dad, you know?
但并不影响无敌超杀扑出来这一下。
这市场在疯狂混这个烟啊，要选择。
And people found it super interesting to watch a guy that was just effectively trying to get past an impossible level. It took 50 years to do it, they did it, and it was just like, lol, this is dumb.
对，既然你想隔断我市场。 好戏开始了，闪电弹球给上，超前暴走激发出来。虽然你有无敌超杀，但是也完成了一个1换1。点内已经是被防守方。
Yeah, I mean, you've also got like Crunk and everything that happened with the guards.
具体落位，挡板上、屏风上其实。
If anything, we need less of them. We need less of the fucking Overwatch League venture capitalist hounds.
放在了自己的口袋里。
这个回防茫茫多的技能啊！天哪，这个暗
And people need to take a leave. I know like Cloud9 isn't popular with some of the roster moves and stuff that it does. But Cloud9 is still here.
我觉得前期的
Fnatic is still here after 20 years.
方的时候，教的技能太多了，导致他们这个爆能器第二时间没有。
Complexity is like there's a lot like just surviving is so important. Yeah, Happyway is dumbstering.
非常的尴尬。
Miss Overwatch League? I don't. Team Liquid, yeah, another good example. Like, the more that I think about it, because I've been talking to Boink a lot, because he's on the team that I'm sort of helping in Deadlock. And he was on, like, the Houston Outlaws and stuff. Do you prefer Overwatch CS? I prefer Contender Season 0. That's the conversation I had. There weren't that many orgs in at that point, because they were sort of waiting for the Overwatch League, and, like, people were obviously being partnered up, basically.
就把枪对手是捡不到的。
巨阵余波再逼你出来。OK。
But like the early tournaments of Overwatch, like the Atlantic Showdown with ESL,
打掉一个但不解渴啊，最后是个3打1，并且绕后。
like the Dream Hacks, the ones that Misfits won in Vegas. Forgotten who did that one. Was it MLG? I think. More of those. That's what I want Deadlock to be like. I don't want to see a fucking ESL Deadlock League anytime soon. You know.
提升一下团队经济。
XLG 现在他的思路很。
I don't want to see a circuit in a game that private servers crash.
然后你要在 B 点下了包 ，OK， 我让你下。
DreamHack Dallas was this year for Overwatch. Yeah, but like the damage has been done on Overwatch League wise. I think it's like the circuit in the system is better for Overwatch, but like it feels a little bit like Dead Man Walking.
堵在那个口子拖延一下时间，如果可以的话，看能不能下2把枪。
那这样的话，有毒坦的位置其实也会被对方堵死啊。
没办法了，这个位置打一个。
短炮都已经跳出来了，就其实在这个近距离的情况下，正义也很难操作。
是的。
12比5，第2张地图的盘点也被 XLG 先打出来了。
只能说今天 XLG 打的也是非常的好啊。
我觉得全员都非常在状态，以及他们至少目前这口气绷得很好，
对，
没有泄。选手们的这种对枪、补枪效率、心态都是拉满的状态。
没错，个人实力都很强啊，正面1v1的胜率高，连杀多，而且队伍的关键人物都有发挥。这就是他们今天2张地图给我们带来精彩的发挥。
It was like a renaissance kinda. I mean, for the diehards, yeah.
全长江满甲。
I think it's just going to be really hard to bring people back into like Overwatch esports now, but I mean, I could be wrong. I do think that Overwatch is more of a popular game than people give it credit for.
队友已经离魂过来帮忙了。
这过点被混死了一个，RA 人都没见，
全是混眼。
哇，爆能
Jesus. I mean, is that 2-13-5 so far?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's stomping. They look good. They look good though. Like their calling and stuff and how they're playing rounds is really good. It's not like a complete crumble from Rare Atom. But
it is just like percentage differences, but they just keep compounding, right? Like if you keep winning the pistol, if you don't lose against ecos, which is something that no team was good at up until today.
They're doing really good at just getting the fast kill and not giving them anything after.
Yeah. But I think also Rare Atom is playing like on tilt, that they are taking as many like gambly positions to just try to get something. And even if they do get the first kill, it's traded. So what they're trying to do is just flat out not working. But also at the same time, I don't know what you do instead.
Yeah, it is one of those. Especially when your normal stuff's not working. Because I don't think they're playing too differently to how they would normally.
Yeah. There's a player who competes, right? Blizzard themselves killed it, but it does get a bad rap more than it should. The game itself is fun. So many players just moved on to other games, etc. Yeah. I'm not really one of those people that like, I don't look back at doing Overwatch related stuff negatively. I don't have like, I played a game a decent amount still even now. But I just think I know I keep harping on about like Deadlock related stuff, but Deadlock for me is what I would have wanted Overwatch to have been. And I think the thing that stopped me really getting invested into Overwatch, like playing it and also like esports, is hero switching. I think that is something that I don't know, I just don't like that side of the game, I guess. And so many issues, like if it was that you picked a character and you played it for the entirety of that map, stuff like goats wouldn't be able to happen. Because I'm thinking of it more of like, you don't do hero select, but you also like if you don't do hero switching, you can actually do bans and it won't feel horrible. Where's next map, Lotus? It did hero bans at Esports World Cup. Yeah, but it also just like all the players liked it. Yeah, because it pulls like it, especially as well with like Deadlock, because it's a MOBA, not having mirrored comps. But if you pick Dynamo, the other team cannot pick it. I think you could do that in Overwatch too. Like no hero select, draft phases, the maps. I think would be like good. I think it'd be good for ranked as well. Because one of the big issues, you build a game where you rely on people to change and to adjust to the meta as it's happening. But then you get people in your ranked games that are just a top one trick. They won't play anything else. at least in this instance, oh, like you're in a top 500 game, there's a top 1 trick on the other team, let's ban top. And they can't do that anymore. Counter-picking 5v5 is actually so whack in terms of tanks rolls, for sure. Yeah, DPS and support is not as bad. I love to sort of check it out. Like because it's happening at the moment in Deadlock. There's somebody that plays McGuinness called 242 that just plays McGuinness, and they just split push. They just push a lane, and they go like 1-20 in some of these like high MMR matches, but they still almost always win because they just play the objective. So if people are fighting on one side of the map, they'll go split push the other. They'll go take towers, they'll take guardians. And like, people want to see them get permabanned. I don't want to. I think that sets a really bad precedent. I think what you do though is you add in like pick bans into just normal matchmaking, because you see that like, oh, 242's on the enemy team, we ban up McGuinness. The Guinness build is so silly. Yeah, but it works, you know? I think permabanning them would be a really bad precedent to set, because it's such a temporary issue. I hope Deadlock becomes successful, but I probably won't touch it. Yeah, that's fine. Games like that aren't for everybody. But I do think that, like, it feels like a good mix of just like the MOBA side. You can learn a lot from doing it, but it's also not hard to pick up and play. It's very intuitive, which a lot of other MOBAs, like Dota, is notoriously hard at this, because there's so many hidden mechanics in Dota that it's really difficult to just learn the game, because there's so much that you have to learn. There's so much that you don't know. The same with Deadlock now, and granted it is because it is a brand new game that people are still learning. But I do feel that the learning curve is a lot easier. But it also has the positives of a game like Dota, where builds and playstyles and roles are very free and open, whereas League is a little bit more like puts you in a box. If you're playing like a top lane character, that's usually all the character does. Whereas in Dota, there have been examples of hard carry champions become hard supports. The feedback from being in third person is a lot nicer than the MOBA RTS view for me. Yeah, and just like the actual mechanics of just being able to run around and shoot. I think like the movement and stuff is the key part of it. Because there's so many examples that we've seen of like third person MOBAs, like Smite, that just feel like you're walking in sand. Whereas this game is very much like if you made a MOBA out of Fortnite, you know? I also think, let me run ads as well. I think it could be a little bit of like a, not a fad, but just people are looking into it way too much. Like, there's cool tournaments and stuff happening at the moment, and I don't want to see 10k tournaments happening all of the time in a game that's barely functionable. I don't know why I muted, like I'm getting music copyright struck anyway.
接下来要进行的是双方第3张地图莲花古城的较量。
这张地图此前2支队伍打的都还不少。刚刚其实我也有简单的看了一下两边在这张地图会选的一些阵容，但是不知道目前为止他们会不会去变阵是一个未知数。以往的话，其实 R1他们是喜欢在莲花古城拿一个双球星烟的，两边的一个打法其实完全不同的。
就莲花古城他们是拿非常经典的木蝶那一套嘛，然后让木蝶去单挂 C 的 C 点突破，当时的这个520 ACS 的记录就是在这张地图打出来的。
是的。
而对于 XLG 来说，他们目前这张地图是在竞争赛2胜2负。然后整体的数据相比于对手来说肯定是会差很多的，但是我觉得从选手今天的状态来看，Free 是确实是在线的，他的一些枪法还是能够对团队有所正向的帮助的。但是我觉得光靠 Free 1名选手是完全不够的。至少有毒坦得站出来，或者其他人得站出来。
对，我觉得今天不光是 XLG 他们的一个手感好，还有一个非常大的一个问题，就是他们在性能的一个配合以及收益，我觉得是非常高的。包括今天 XLG 他们打的一些夹击的战术都是非常成功的。今天，所以我觉得 RA 他们需要去调整一下自己的手感、战术什么的，我觉得还是要先抛在一边，先把手感刷上来才是一个重要的位置。
XLG 在这张地图上，本次竞争赛打的蛮多，打了4次是2胜2负。他们是赢了 XG 和 ZYG， 输给过的是 RA 和 CCG。而且他们在这张地图的阵容会我觉得就是不是非常常规，他们会在这张地图上使用猎枭。
猎枭
对，大部分在这张地图上使用黑梦的选手会居多一点。就是猎枭在这张地图上，可能他的一些瞄点啊，他的一些位置，其实选择还是需要再去考究一下的。
看今天会不会拿猎枭吧？其实我对于他们这一套阵容带猎枭的也是会有一点点的
疑问，
保留一下自己的疑问。对
，OK。
因为其实猎枭在这张地图偏一个拐角比较多的一张大地图来说的话，它搜点会存在一。
Ryan, you're a goddamn prophet.
猎枭的
It's just all gut feelings.
不管是巡敌舰飞行的轨迹也好，还是就枭星无人机清点的这个时候。
Really does feel that the biggest disadvantage a team has in a grand final is that there are no disadvantages, and that just weighs on people too much.
现在 XLG 已经是拿到自己非常大的优势，看能不能稳住，以及 RA 的状态调整能不能跟上来。
RA 现在真的需要调整的是心态，因为他们在9月13号在这张地图上是正面战胜过 XLG 的。而且他们当时的阵容就是木蝶，然后再加幽影的双球烟，然后配合双先锋，先锋是 KO 加这个黑梦。然后再带一个霓虹，这是非常经典的一个双先锋双烟的体系。
是。
而且这个阵容体系下，RA 在进攻端的拿分率会非常恐怖。他们带了霓虹双先锋在进攻端拿分，可能至少有70%的这个胜率。
R1 的话，其实也是同样的，2胜0负嘛。不管是进攻方还是防守方的一个胜率，都是比较可观的。我觉得现在要抛下自己所有的包袱了，现在目前为止劣势太大了。
对，摒去杂念啊，可以看到这个应援牌上写了"子定能行"啊，这个子是 RA 的这个对标的子啊。其实很多观众们
You know the craziest thing actually that I just thought about with Deadlock 2?
应该这个皮肤配色会很好看之类的。
They've got like a good amount of like concurrent players in this playtest, and they haven't made a penny off of the game as of yet.
变阵。
是的。
XLG 因为他们之前有过一次变阵啊。
他们在这张地图有2套嘛。
对，而且他们之前拿过奇乐。在这张地图上，今天又换成了0。但我觉得猎枭还是要值得商榷，看一下 Crystal 在这张地图的猎枭会给我们带来怎样的表现吧。
是的。看到这个攻方的胜率 XLG 有60，守方胜率偏低，只有38。那他们是进攻开的话，可能要去稳住一下进攻方的一些分数。
Will Crystal or Raga leave? I think Raga actually just because of Crystal IGL. Who do you think they'll keep if XLG win Ascension?
比较出色。
自
己在守方看能不能多拿一些分数，因为他们有霓虹。
I don't know. Raga's been too good not to, right? But then you lose your IGL, and we saw what happened to GDG last year.
比防守更强一些。
对的。
而 XLG 恰恰我们可以看到，他防守方胜率只有38%，是不太够的。所以，如果 RA 来到进攻方之后，他们将会有一些比较大的优势。
Like I feel naturally you just would say keep Crystal, but I don't think that's the right move.
现在 RA 我们自己都能够感觉到，其实教练他的心理压力也挺大的。
对。
因为前2个地图
I just don't know though.
大比分都是大比分数的嘛。
他甚至都把暂停叫完了，其实也没有特别好的成效。
对。
I think for either team it's super hard.
在场上立刻去解决得了的问题。
就跟战术是没有关系的，就可能是选手是需要调整一下个人的状态、
心态、技战术、选手个人的内心的强大，这些诸多因素构成了双方面前的冠军奖杯。而究竟谁能捧起它？我们一起来到双方第3张地图——莲花古城的较量。
莲花古城这个站位 ，XLG。 确实有霓虹的情况下，都是先把 C 场抢下来，
因为 C 抢的这个
能量球，
对出问题的概率比较低啊。
对。
Third and final map Freudian split.
Slip。一个 Free， 这个之前是比较明牌的，而且 Free 刚刚露过面了，要不要顺便直接提了？群体剑给了，群体剑给了。惊喜翻腾，应该是闪电弹球已经给了。
这个爆能器可以无伤的去安装下来。
Free 溜得真快啊！他已
经
completely open sight on C.
但自己身后的队友到了。
I think it's the right approach though when you don't have a sentinel.
其实现在两边攻防
On C to just hold the site, just take it, be aggressive. Good for Freeing to win that fight. That's poor though from Marathon.
现在有一点点变数，双方是一个2v2，爆能器已经安装，诺曼只有一丝血，诺曼只有一丝血，被点了一枪身体，对方已经在秦王绕住了，看到了对方 KO 具体的位置 ，Midnight 现在有点尴尬，要跳木箱上吗？没有，第2时间在上，知道你就在脚下的眼里，只要不漏。 这个位置将立于不败之地。
看到了，两个人都在互相的勾。
It's done. Another one.
被发现了。
两发子弹，
对方只有一丝血。
没时间了也。
OK， 时间耗尽。那这一分虽然回防
Another pistol.
非常的果决，但是
Is that all of the pistols now for XLG?
Rare Atom got one.
对，本来是有一个非常大的优势的，但是果然
And they should have won that one, right?
拿到了一波非常大的击杀。
Yeah. They just weren't expecting someone close left once they went behind on C.
今天手枪局 XLG 还是一如既往的高哦。这前几张图。
I mean, it's a good good strategy. The curse of going undefeated. I mean, M80 weren't defeated. They were defeated.
I feel like this pistol just sums it all up.
Yeah, XLG do the obvious thing to do against Rare Atom's comp as well. Alright, they don't have a sentinel, let's just go C.
Yeah. They can just keep spamming C, I feel like.
Maybe XLG are doing it. They've not really set a foot wrong so far. They won defeat. Yeah, in groups, but they lost upper bracket. Went down to the losers. And they went to the grand final for the losers.
Snow 这个位置也很难了，标配哎，就出来就直接是被架掉了。
2比0，其实也没有付出特别大的代价，应该是用飞。
Like it's tough because there's just so much riding on this series. This series alone.
有点撞枪口了，都没。
It's not like if you get to the grand finals of champs and you lose, you've still done really well. And you could still get a lot of success off finishing in a grand final. Rare Atom didn't lose, right? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like they weren't like M80 then because M80 had already lost.
看看这一分吧，两边正面都要。
This is like if Apex had lost the grand final in Ascension EMEA, right? Because they didn't actually lose a series up until the grand final in that case.
有一把长枪掉在了碎石，
要小心死点的位置哦。
左边有幽影在架 ，Snowflake 在架。
Because you said they're looking like M80, so I just thought you meant like that.
但 Crystal 有狂徒，对方是双架，闪身看到了有雷击剑，先打破对方双架的角度，变成了拆开的情况，果然就会出现对枪的机会。不过枪械的优势还是让 RA 在 A 区取得了不错的进展。
Marlin 一直想要去这个开关门旁边捡枪啊。
What was the voice cue then? Was it that the spike has been dropped?
速度很快。
对。
M80 lost last year from lowers.
其实 Martin 只要卡住这个碎石就可以了。
但是这个爆能
They're coming from lowers again. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
对手可能会再绕，先勾引一下。
Martin 想要捡这个爆能器得等烟。 但是等了烟之后，他就没有办法跟着了。那没事。
这个勾引感觉有点太明显了，莫名其妙开两枪，怎么回事？你后面肯定有人。
得进修一下演技了。
剩余30秒。
最后一个人 ，Marlin， 怎么办呢？ 只能去。
我觉得在他的视角里下了包就行，
下了包就算赢。
对，给团队增加一些经济。
这个包都不一定好下哦，这个水下来得很快。看到了，打一个，
换掉一个，勉强可以接受，下了3把枪。而 RA 终于是稳下来了。
Did we play XLG Ryan? I forgot. I don't think we did. I think you scrimmed against Rare Atom. I think we were meant to scrim against XLG at some point. We lost to Keep Best.
很有灵性的选手，他刚刚那个雷击剑把对方的一个双架给拆开了。
对。
I think we scrimmed ZYG because Nate was on it.
充能完毕了已经。
And then XLG, I think we were meant to scrim, but
3个击杀嘛，加上前期
either like somebody was late or somebody had power issues.
直接前压一波 ，Nomad Happy Way。
We didn't even play bad considering our disadvantages.
但是听到了
He is the Apple iPhone 15 guy, yeah.
对，信息已经拿到比较多了，这个 A 爆点直接提了。
清点还是蛮。
要看背身碎石区。
The man himself.
位置有点尴尬，0点秀探扎到了。 名牌 Crystal 得摇人过来帮忙，有谁能来呢？没有任何人。
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, I don't think we did that bad.
并且所有人被卡在了树屋里面。比较有灵性的是 Raga 直接去选择绕了一波，有惊雷。
And like it's like, oh, if we had this, this, and that.
看到人了，惊雷卷你给了，但树屋还有。
But also at the same time, it's like, but yeah, that's not on us though. So.
全白的闪存过载取得了非常好的效果 ，Midnight 收掉了树屋里的直架。 但是正面来不了，有山峰地线。哦，山峰。
First plans for XLG have been exceptional. Same with
He's
retakes.
so good, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd get rid of him. If you had to get rid of him or Crystal.
这个一个人在这个侧身的位置架了3个。
关键还是这个惊雷卷地啊，来太快了。就这个终极技能其实完全出乎于对手 RA 的预料之内的。
对。 我哪怕最后的一个残局是一个劣势，还是依靠自己的强法，在近点的位置给抵住了。那这一分上一分长枪局输掉。
And I'm just lost.
混起了，有一把。
I'm impressed with XLG though. Like, they win this series, they deserve to.
我先去了。想要去抓机会，但是如果对手抱团来清 C 大的话，你哪怕打了一个也没有后续了。
背身赛博囚笼。 直接触发，
给不到任何的机会。
瀑布给烟，只能拉出来，但拉出来会被看枪管。哎，就像现在这样 ，Midnight 走自己的家里，兵败如山倒啊！
就现在 RA 陷入到了一个非常难受的局面。
I just think having any tournament where there's only one slot to qualify for it never feels great.
拿到非常多的控制权，现在我觉得又被抓。
Because you're not qualifying to win champs, right? It's there to win champs. Like, imagine if an international event was only one team from each region qualifies.
士气已经是落在了 XLG 身上。
对。这个暂停是现在降呢，还是说等这一分打完看看情况？因为其实上一分的话 ，RA 是没啥经济的，这一分才是他们的长枪局。
如果是我叫。
就围绕着这个长枪局去。
Because that's the other side of it too. Like, the old system would have had 4 Ascension teams. And 10 partners, so there'd be 14 teams total. If you have it be 14 teams still, so like 4 slots, that would feel a lot better, I think. And in one import lads, I'm pretty sure Rag will be sent to a better team. The guy's insane. Yeah. I think a lot of people would say, oh, well, like, look at Stu and Yeoman and stuff last year for JDG. But I still don't think that JDG ever keep Yeoman over Stu. I mean, the problem is that they took a player that does an IGL and changed all of the comms to Chinese. Now to do with, like, if Yeoman was there, same thing would have happened. Probably would have been worse.
关键就是这个问题，木蝶首 C。 这本身就是一个在战术上的。
But here, if you're XLG, you can probably get an English-speaking IGL that's not an import fairly easily. I think there'll be somebody that can fulfill that role to a decent level. They also had a rotating door all season. I don't know, but their instant change where they started looking good was when they stopped commenting Mandarin and started speaking English. And you have Viva calling as an IGL on an English comms team now.
打非常
Like if Eva could do it, surely somebody else can pick up the slack.
因为对手轻甲也蛮多的，有3个。
Your viewers know about AEC? Yeah, they know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know much about it myself. Only that like the tournament is like in October and yeah, but you can get Julius more easily now.
在一个突破的位置，拿到信息，第2时间如果没有人的话 ，A 区要小心。
Yeah, I mean, I think so, but
刚刚中路我看到是给了一个暗兽。
you're gonna hate having to drop a player like Raga.
的位置，选择第2时间。
And also, it would just be shit if Raga doesn't get to play tier 1 despite basically being the MVP for the team that's qualifying for it.
关键看这个树屋要怎么打到点里去了。对
方
肯定会有黑的。
压力会很大哟。
闪电弹球先给，但
But honestly, for China, I do think that they maybe should get rid of the 2 import rule.
鬼眼架住了对方的 Raga， 狂烈之怒立刻反清，配合 Mr. Carney 的枪线，半区的 A 点已经是在进攻方 XLG 的掌控。
And you can do that and just say like we want to focus on growing Chinese talent as well.
霓虹是一把判官，
想要抓人已经是挣到了，中路来了，经典的位置没有，哇，
点了一枪但没有致死。 经典的140
Because Augs will do whatever to win.
存在10秒钟来不及了，这个时候转币成为了最后。
You need a Russian import to win at Ascension. Yeah, the Russian imports are doing much better than the Korean imports.
是的，我觉得这一波回防的 Nomad 速度非常的快。
关键是他的枪械也很适合他在这个位置发挥，包括他最后的这个终极技能也好。
对他这个超线暴走确实释放出的一个时机也是很好。 哇，其实前期的时候在 A 点已经是打得不可开交了，第2时间在准备转 B 点的一个情况下，稍微有一点草率了，因为不太知道 B 点到底是什么情况。
因为没有人摸 B 啊。
对。临时决定。
Studio, come on, yeah.
但是 Mr. Carney 第2个大多好。现在就看 XLG 多会儿能发现这个。
And I also don't think that an IGL is really that important at the moment.
他就俩人。 就一个山崩地陷，其实就完全可以把 C 点的这个大部分的位置压住。对，
又压了这一波，但是有半线，没有太多的一些。
Like being the IGL and being bottom of the kill feed consistently, and just be like, oh, it's the IGL, it's supposed to do that. It doesn't really fly as much anymore.
啊，但是近距离 Raga 走到对方的脸上，
他要走其实也能走，就看他想不想走近点的位置。
他肯定不能卖队友的，闪存过载交得很好。 I
just want Crystal to get into tier 1, so do I. But I also don't want Raga to not get into tier 1. Because I think that would just be a complete like failing of the system in its entirety.
CB 连接好像不太好保。
应该不会来找他吧？整体的经济 RA 其实并没有太好。能不掉枪就不掉了。对手反正是有经济的。
But you also have to put hard rules into it too, because like Chinese teams will do whatever they can to win.
我可能认为他们这分打完要叫暂停了。这个 C 点
If they can play with 2 imports, they will do.
来看 RA 和 A 点和 C 点2个点，其实都只有俩人。
对。
For me, I just want Martin back.
体验一下就知道，两个人想守住一个点。
I mean, I don't know. I think out of
如果你是想压出去守的话
Martin's been good, and he's very good in specific situations of like clutches and stuff.
XLG 他带的是铁臂在前点。
But I think considering like how like it just doesn't feel like he is
比较简单的，就看你想不想去控这个
that he's not diffing people.
他们前几分
I guess he's never been that kind of player. But I've said it multiple times. If you're a control player and you don't IGL, you need to have good performances consistently. The agent is too good for like Omen to be playing supportive.
不敢第一时间全都 all in。
就是前期其实第一时间挂了个单向烟嘛，不太想去付出太多的一些风险，还是同样。
And then you have teams like Team Heretics that have Boo the IGL on controller, and he still puts in more consistent, stronger performances than Martin.
反应还挺快的。他们这一分是 all in 的 A 区。
I liked Martin on Killjoy. Yeah, me too. So, but like, Happy Weight is better.
给楼梯烟。
在 C 点又压出来了，一个滑铲能不能架住啊 ？Happy Weight 架住了 Nomad， 甚至他都没掉血。赛博囚笼加一个震慑半线。
哇，他好谨慎啊，知道 C 大压出来很有。
I'd say that Martin is the weakest link on this XLG team still.
先保存一下自己的有生力量。
Maybe it's Crystal. Crystal's also IGL.
有大的，就这一分，其实 XLG 甚至还有一个转点的容错。除非 Marty 阵亡。关键要看 Happy Weight 他的耐心够不够足。
先找人。
离魂碎石区没有任何的反馈，这个时候 队友肯定第一时间不会回防了，因为 U 影开过大了。但关键其实现在 XLG 他现在在等第2轮的技能。
Where's the adjustment coming in from?
这个声音是非常大的。
Everybody coming through tree. You've still got the Cypher lurking mid. I think that's a silly fight for Snowflake, but he wins it anyway.
但 Happy 未来的会太慢了 ，Happy 未来太慢了。正面是一个局部。
But this is better.
爆能器也并不
Just one round at a time.
木蝶已经丢了整股。
Paranoia is good, but you're sticking it. You got multiple people holding. Fairly easy round for Rare Atom in the end.
不敢烫了。
对。
最近这2分 RA 可以说是，我觉得在正面的这种对局以及拉扯当中是占据了上风了。
而且抓 timing 的一个时机也很好，反而是 XLG 在进攻方啊，这后面几分打得稍有点犹豫，在知道 Noman 前压击杀掉之后，他们来到 A 点，其实在树屋待的位置时间都非常的久，因为已经是拖到对手都已经回防了。
James the bunny hop, no man, let's go.
对，简单来说，他们太求稳了。
对，
他们
Yeah, I wonder how he's feeling with the series so far. It's not been easy.
上至少看得很清楚，不管是刚才树屋进点的过程当中，还是这个 C 点外面的人数上来说，都没有到达你需要这么谨慎的这一步。
Oops, I turn on shield mode.
是怕这个 A 包点是埋了有人在的。如过于谨慎的话，会给自己埋成很多的伏笔啊，就是给对手争取到了这个回防的时间。
这个很重要。
3 of 5. What time is it as well? It's midday.
每次在进点的过程当中，基本是以一个在被包围的状态。
对。
而出现这种情况的最大的原因，就是因为你进点给到对方的反应和应对的时间太长了。
As a drama enjoyer, I just want to see Martin revenge on JDG.
当你正准备去安置这个爆能器之前或者之后
The drama enjoyer.
你也抢不到太多的一些枪位优势。
Man just feels like he's not too much drama ever, really, right?
其实打 A 点是输了好几分了，要不要尝试打一下其他的点呢？
但我觉得对于 RA 来说有一个非常好的消息，就是他度过了 XLG 其实非常强势的一波终极技能的时间，比如说那1分的狂烈之怒和 Mr. Carney 的惊雷卷地。因为其他3个人的终极技能其实不是很厉害的。
抢了一大，
哦呦，这
I forgot what I was doing with my mouse there.
对。
那你这 A 点至少3个人起步，直接提速。
They're just gonna go back into C heading, right? Because it's just easier.
Yeah, I think so.
Like they started trying other places and like, hold up, this doesn't actually work. We won every round on C.
暗售的，还真不好提。
至少把球控。
Especially when it feels like they don't have an answer to it. But that's just such a common thing, right? Of like, surely they make adjustments, so I got to prepare for the adjustments.
Yeah.
Like, do that after you start losing to them. Quite literally, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
能够给到进攻方拉扯的空间会很多，时间也很足，其实不着急的。
I mean, they tried it here, but again, they found themselves going back towards A.
看能不能找到一些机会了。
But I guess it's good because it's like you put pressure over here. I think this needs to show. You put pressure over here, and it's going to pull that rotate. So it should arguably make the A site weaker.
说实话，有点危险，直接混啊！
退的一瞬间 ，Midnight 是看到了对方的枪管。
是的。
朝鲜暴走激发出来，但 RA 是完全不急的，你可以放啊。
Oh man, the timing is excellent.
我今天的位置刚好被打了一个背身，放过去一个。
木蝶化蝶出来，哦。
To be honest, he couldn't have had perfect time, more perfect time in there.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just get an extra kill on someone. The only thing that would have worked better is like the guy behind him drops down. And then can't trade or something.
In the card game world, we call it making him have it. If you don't play around something unless it's A, will lose you the game, or B, you know, with 100% certainty they have the card.
到了一个拿不了分的情况了，包括单挂的阿贝维也是，目前为止找不到任何的单摸角度。
这个滑铲其实还很漂亮，但是很可惜。
主要是放了一个人下去嘛，他不知道，不然的话还是有机会操作。
Also, Anders, are there good like resources for like learning more about like MOBA theories and stuff?
但现在这个终极技能
Like either drafting or just positioning, kind of like the
都没有特别高，可能你要
the scaling, the defaultings, the 1-4 rules like you'd have in Valorant, but in MOBAs.
稳把这个 C 点放给防守方，那我觉得这也太亏了。
The good channels to learn that kind of shit.
没办法，这个高速通道确实
下本钱了，高速通道还挺贵的。
交了一个保命的技能。海贝维又是一个单挂，他这个位置其实对手很提防的，知道你总是单挂，看看正面1打2哦，这个背身哦，这个正面。
看谁先忍不住 ，C 点掉人了。
哦，露脚步了。
有反馈，但海贝维这位置应该要吃技能了。
他能走是可以走，但是他不想放。
胆子真大。
这个胆子真大，直接出。
Okay, nice.
你说他
Still ended up in a 2v2.
2换3。
At least the club is over towards the C says so they can't
That was
stop
such
you.
a bold play. That was awesome.
因为海贝维太
There was no util for that, right?
No, I don't think so.
转 A 的话，现在开始就要大脚步。
And the stun was on the other side. It's just Neon dashing.
对，
你可以看到他几乎没有搜 A 点内，他知道对手并。
Does Crystal speak Chinese? I don't know. I mean, it's an English-speaking, like English common team, both of them. CCG was as well. Keep best way as well. Maybe there's others too.
也可以听到，就对方如果绕碎石的身后。
有半线的，这个绕后是知道的。
I don't think the key for Chinese teams is having 2 imports. It's having an English-speaking roster.
这个站位其实两个人都形成不了架枪。哦，这个脚步应该是听到了。
I don't know of any really.
都是大脚步，刚刚给到一个信息，两个人都在正面，看看能不能抓到一个开关门的一个 timing， 侧身一个。
I think it's just any good YouTube channels that might explain some of the fundamentals.
Midnight 他很谨慎，大脚步。
血量的优势是在 Midnight。
So we've been doing a lot of stuff on laning and like
对方是一个假拆。
that's something we've improved on.
Crystal 没给。
I think the thing that like I struggle with in my own games and also like the team struggles with is kind of like when you have that advantage. Like you've taken all of their first towers, they've taken one of yours. You might have even taken a couple of like the deeper towers and have like a gold or soul lead. How you confirm that into a win? Like when there's no other objectives to take on the map, what do you do kind of thing? And I mean, part of that is just unfounded in Deadlock anyhow.
他们防守方只有38胜率，这点针压出来，两个人打了个照面，惊雷卷地。
Looking for like split for Fairy and Shift. I'll talk about it more in a second, or even like if you're down and around when you're not on like weird, because like after today, I'm basically done for however many months until maybe Polaris starts up, and even then, I haven't been asked to do it yet, so. But if there's a chance to sit down and talk about it, because I could just like show you some of the scrims, like, okay, yeah, this is what we're struggling with. Some of the stuff is really obvious, of just like it feels to me a good rule to have is only like group up as 6 or as 5 when we have a clear objective on what we're doing. So I can get up to Costume America Finals. Yeah, I'd probably say like after this week, like sometime next week, in the week next week.
真踢了，听到了，在找到了。
But I think it's the mix of when you have players like, oh, there's one of them here, let's go fight them. Meanwhile, one of the other players is like on the other side of the map, like shoving the lanes and farming. And so we end up taking fights where we have the disadvantage.
铁臂还被抑制了。
包是能下，但是你下了包不一定能走啊。虽然说2楼有人在架，哎，看到了第2时间。 他有闪有震，但是这个国宴第1时间其实是已经把 Harley 的位置照出来了的。
I think it's just all about having like hard and fast rules of like when you're taking fights and the aftershock mists.
已经被拆完了，这个矩阵余波的基本功 ，Mr. Carney 没有把握住。
Which team did you win the title with? He was with Fnatic.
可能会给到他错误的一些角度。
他可能会。 没有正中那个包的中间，
对，
我就只能这样解释，要不然的话，
偏歪了。
对，
因为那个爆能器在那个位置的话，这个矩阵余波确实有非常多的角度，它稍微偏后了一些，刚好是在背后。哦，6比5的比分，上半场最后1分没钱了 ，XLG。
硬着头皮来。
I also saw the Fnatic send Milan as well, didn't they, for assistant coach? Like I'm happy for him. I think he's just been.
效率还不错，第2时间进攻方的黑也推了，但
Feels like he's just been eating slop the last couple of years.
XLG 压根儿没以为。
Like I just don't think that he really got the respect he deserves.
非常强。 单挂的 Martin 也想去绕，结果被对手的判官直接逮捕。
There's like a good opportunity, you know, for somebody that was on Ascend when they won champs and then that, and then yeah, I'm sure he was great on Giants, but
爆能器是能减，这是2打5很难，两个人双架，这漏一下可能就没了。
因为你老这样摸对手肯定。
oh my god, really?
等一下，
背身来的很快哦 ，No Man。
I mean, it should still be fine for Rare Atom.
他给了一个高速通道，想
But at this rate, you really don't know.
40秒。
XLG is losing their mind.
他有转点的空间，
对，
甚至可以去找一下对手的站位。
他要这样转的话，转 A 现在进步走也来得及。走到靠近的地方再露脚步，但是他现在好像想杀回马枪，但
没有太好的 timing， 说实话。
对，
都已经进包点了。
24。
但他下包回的最快的应该就是 No Man 了，他已经开始往 B 点靠了。下了包可能走不掉了。听到了 B 通有人在等队友，疯狂勾引啊！
Might get reverse swept to Rare Atom win this map. The maps are good for it.
但是 Free。
You got Haven and then you've got Abyss.
非常精准的一颗将对手带走。
是的。
那上半场的比分会定格在了7比5，而是防守方 RA 的7分。
Is it the same maps or the same map order than the Champs Finals? Trying to remember, was Ascent played in it? No, I don't think so.
上半场这个
Because it was EDG's main ban.
C 点前期的强点 RA 做的非常漂亮，没有给到 XLG 太多的机会，哪怕
I know Abyss was the final map.
处于一个劣势，但还是把这个比分给啃回来了。
没错。
Haven was map 1. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
我觉得 RA 做的比较好。
It was Haven, Sunset,
连续拿分的那段时间，他们把地图控制。
Lotus, Bind, Abyss. Yeah, because Bind was the 4th map with the Kung Kung Ace at the end.
他们能控下来，其实有一个很大的原因是 XLG 他们没有太大的欲望想要去抢这个 C。
就他太想我看着打。
I don't know if it's a mental sweep, really. I wouldn't go that far.
损失一些前点的控制位置。
Because all it takes is XLG to win this pistol, win the bonus, and they're back in like the driving seat.
拿到太好的控制权，反而是防守方的 RE 在防守方。
But it's that problem again for Rare Atom. Like, how do you fundamentally function as a squad when you are behind?
控个 C 或者控个 A， 这个 CY 和 AY 两支队伍各自来。
Yesterday, it was a mental sweep. I mean, I haven't watched the series, so I'll take your word on it. But
他只要保证他想控，他3个人压，他大概率是有机会控下来的。
对。
M80 are just built different. Like, they should be winning Ascension, no questions asked, right?
还是会喜欢去多拉扯。下半场的手枪局 ，RA 如果能够拿到的话
But I just don't think that like XLG would start to spiral out.
看一下手枪。
It really is all down to Rare Atom in most cases. Like, if you're ahead, can you keep that lead going? If you're behind, can you stop doing some of the plays that you've been doing to try to rectify the situation?
目前为止的话 ，RA 是渐入佳境了。
Because it's not only that you're 2-0 down in maps, you lost them both 13-5.
能力逐渐回暖。
You've got more rounds already on this map than you did in the last 2. You win 3 rounds on this attack, then you one map as many rounds as you did in 2. I need the toilet though. I know it's bad timing. I should have gone just then, but
您只要其实
I'll stay for the pistol.
一边就可以了，这个包点的安全还是得交给他。有半线的情况下是比较克制到对手的霓虹的。但是要小心这个0点秀探之后的，如果说扎到了的话，其实很难有一个非常好的手点效果。这个位置通常是幽影会比较喜欢。看到
Should the M80 roster changes by 2 players minimum if they win Ascension? Yeah, I also don't really like that side of it as well, but it's also like that is power on with other sports. You qualify for the Premier League, you're not going to keep the same 11 players.
有人踩了，但他跳到了木箱之上，再下来，闪转腾挪间，还被维持收掉对方2人，点后的
Good pistol so far for XLG.
现在双方是一个3打2防守方占据了
VRG classic buff.
并且他们好像对于 B 点的这个靠近自己这一方向会比较担心，对方有人在摸。
对。
If they win, they change only if they lose under. Yeah, I mean.
有优势，等下包，3个人。
What players am I missing off the top of my head for BCJ, Xander, Nismo, Net. Who's the last one?
有杜特这个选择没问题啊，想要主动澄清，但是这个闪电弹球没办法。
对
Koala.
技能真的太厉害了。
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's really any players that you would look to change, really.
操作的空间。
他一个大圆圈，这个。
But again, I haven't watched them. I don't know personal performances. BCJ might be.
His happy weight guys is too good, Ryan.
He's great, isn't he?
He's too good. He wins them so many rounds. It's insane.
但确实这个 C 点的这个 B 点的防守零，他在点内利用半线做出了非常好的拉扯效果。
I think it's cool because you got like Mr. Canny was really good last year, and like he's continued that on. Like Happy Way showed moments of brilliance, but he was just not. Like he's improved so much this year alone, I guess.
Yeah. He looks great. This is like my first time really of just watching him.
Yeah,
I've been so impressed.
Because he was in like the early games of Evolution and then early games of Ascension, so he never really went far.
那你也没法提啊，这枪太差了。罗满手里是一把这个。
All right, it's in the pistol now.
回锁先收到了。
Here we go, Tyler.
这短炮真的能抓到人吗？罗满已经来了。
滑铲过来，你就说抓没抓到？
抓到了，但是也被补了。
但1换1是可以接受的，3拉啊！这个枪山的集火，这米斯卡尔尼又刷3个点，给队友丢下枪，那相当于是约等于掉了一把獠犬。因为 Martin 他当时是一把鬼魅，我印象当中，所以他这一分其实阵亡影响并不是很大，只要推了黑就可以了。这个 Crystal 是抓到了3波 B 点的人。
确实啊，这个有哨位的情况下，在防守方。 很多点位都能释放一些比较多的压力，不用用人去看。7比7，
这分很贪哦，骑了把雄鹿。
Martin 的雄鹿，电击站的位置是在 C 点
，C 点附近，踩到了鬼眼，还是要来 C。RA 在摇摆的过程当中是选择了对方可能压过的 A 区的另一侧。
他这个位置得自己封烟自己打 Martin， 而且还讲究 timing。哦，打掉了。哎呀，这个被找到了，打了一个。
这他能走得了吗？好像不太行。
有暗眼的，
暗眼推，用暗眼来换自己的安全。因为有雄鹿，所以只要卡住这个左边的拐角，哦，换枪了。烟散的一瞬间，对，很危险。有矩阵余波。
2颗闪，知道 B 点是已经进了哦。2楼的队友 Raga 跟这些队友形成一个双架，只要你不摸我这重生点就行。冲！知道这点有人滑铲打一个。
哇！这牙还把包打掉了。
再滑铲，再来一个，这么秀吗？
无法子弹，最后一个 Midnight 在中路也被 Mr. Carney 给抓到了。哇，这一分拿下对于 XLG 来说真的太长士气了。
对。Raga 这个。 双杀前面的2个双杀，其实这个 timing 抓得很好啊。
对。
他没有等对手来主动抓他，而是主动出击。刚好第2个人有杜坦祥丢技能的抬手动作被抓到了，拿到了一波3杀。哦，教练也是非常的开心，这一分打得非常干净利落。
主要还是半线啊。
7比8，RA 又没有钱了，格曼起了一把雄鹿。 看前线的位置，跟对手来一决高下。
鬼眼第一时间没有人管得了啊！哦，这一下完，应该是没什么机会操作了。雷击剑再电掉。
哎呀，东巴好像自己撞上去了。
他也不知道对方这个时候射了个雷击剑出来，因为视野太差了，
有点小倒霉了。
应该左右会被双拉，再架住。
还有一个，打一个有杜坦，看能不能再打一个，但是可能会很难。有人杀眼了。 没有推到，
当心，我下去了。
对方有雄鹿，真要去冲近距离的话，还是有点危险，所以 Raga 是保持在了一个非常微妙的距离。
是。
感觉要不要 RA 叫暂停啊？
对，我觉得得叫一下。现在比分已经被反超了，而且你看这个巡敌舰，就防守方 XLG 的巡敌舰，以及少尉的。 半线0的半线，他们的收益都非常的高，就每一次在进点以及快要进点的时候，都会吃到对手的一些技能限制、过点的一些火力，导致他们后续的话是没有一个人数均势的正面对枪，就前面的劣势都已经打得很开了，7比9啊！现在目前最后一个暂停， 在下半场也是叫了出来。
我觉得现在真的不能冒险，因为在大比分的劣势情况之下，再加上这个回合也是一个关键的长枪分，比分一旦上了双位数，那其实局面就不是很可控了。
对，现在经济其实也垒不起来哦，这个比分得好好的去想一想，因为他们在进攻方，在防守方的时候打的是挺漂亮的，但是现在来到进攻方之后 ，XLG 他们在防守方的一个部署做的会更好一些。主要还是有零的一个情况下，有哨位的情况下，很多点位都可以把自己的队友啊，这个双手给解放出来，不会放上那么多人员去进行防守。
好的，也是非常感谢来到现场给两支队伍加油助威的观众朋友们。那我们现在还是要回到比赛当中。RA 的暂停结束，看一下他们的暂停结束之后是选择抢 A 大，而且是 all in 的 A 大。狂烈之怒直接架车，有人吃到一剑吗？好像没有。只有有毒坦吃到一剑的伤害，但并不致死。叶灵笼上是这样打快的 ，Rocker 接一个，接两个，
这么极限吗？
跟枪跟上来了。
3发子弹有队友，
但有毒坦的位置是有点明牌的。Happy 维已经在绕了 ，Rocker 直接切成了短炮，喷掉了有毒坦。这一分想兵贵神速，恰恰撞到了对方的枪口之上。
哇，这一分确实想要提一波快的，近点的 XLG 顶着巨大的压力啊，黑梦的叶灵把对面给接住了。
哇，这一分 Rocker 的个人能力得到了充分的展现。再来看一下，
回放一下，
先架 Free， 再打对方的霓虹 Noman。Noman
这个滑铲其实第一时间还真挺难架的，他真是把自己的枪线给压下来了。
所以他跟过去了。
对，
霓虹因为距离很近，
他是狂徒，你要知道。
对。那这样的话 ，RA 又陷入到了一个存钱分。
你惹毛我了！
哦，压力太大了 ，RA 得这一分，而且还是没竞技的，想要打一波快的吗 ？Noman 手里有大招，
电击，
这个条件暴走，哎，直接被架死了。
落在 B 区。
这个枪械的差距让 RA 想去在正面对枪寻得一丝便宜，他都很难。最后只剩 Free 的位置了，爆能器就在他的身上。Free 只能寄期望于对方没有纪律性的一个一个过来找他，让他捡到长枪再操作。看到了，打掉第一个，红吸吸一口，后点枪太差了，他没有太多能够去容错的机会，并且人数的差距让他没有办法再操作了。
是的。
哇，那现在这个比分，
这2分丢的感觉有点太快了。
对。
长枪局以及这个一搜这几分，真的是给自己埋下了非常大的伏笔，因为现在比分本来劣势就很大，已经让对手拿到了11分。
RA 面前仿佛笼罩着一股魔咒。但是，这一个长枪分可以定 RA 的生死了，基本。
对。
想要继续在竞争赛的舞台上操作，他们必须要拿下这一分。惊雷卷地直接轰出想抓 CY 的人，但是 RA 撤得非常快。
我先去了。
A 点已经是来到了同步的树屋附近，但是有2根半线。2楼的这个烟可能会有一点点伏笔，看到已经进点了，但是。霓虹很细节啊！这一下进步还踩半线，第一时间把半线收回来，神经曲线抛出来，利用赛博特来掩护自己的生存。回防的路线已经都到位，这个神经曲线抛出来的时候位置真。
About to get swept in the series. It's looking that way, isn't it?
不停地在换 ，Free 想更多的拿到一个击杀。
Oh man, they just can't help but lining up. Everything's going wrong for them.
形成了最后一个人在树屋，甚至还有枭雄无人机先混2枪，枭雄无人机开出来，卡你的过点，卡你的过点，已经扎到了。
Everything is just going wrong for this team.
有队友帮忙架，看能不能架住。
哦
That's it.
背水一战的
Match of the series, tournament point.
没有拿下，他们甚至是拼上了霓虹。
That A played that so well, man. He's really stepped up, by the way, Crystal, in this final.
Yeah.
Like fragging's been really good, but the calling's been great.
Hard to do.
And he's never overheating in these situations. That's like the main thing. He had that We had the same thing on Sunset where his back of sight did good and he just fell back. This one here just waited for the smoke to go, then drones. He's a beast.
个人能力真的是全员都在线。
是啊。
现在没办法了，主要是也没暂停了。
落后对手于5分，而 XLG 有5个赛点，霓虹已经划出来了。
Oh man, the recon. He's usually good with these ults too.
狂烈之怒射到了一箭，应该射到了 Snow Flag。
Oh man, that's looking for freeing.
对，还是有机会的这一分 RA。
Mr. Canny is just sort of moving. Crystal's the ideal, yeah.
直接拿出来，他把对方的包打掉了。
他知道
2v2
位置的，刚刚是已经照出来了。
They're aware that freeing can flank and lurk.
Free 他其实在绕的。
Someone just TP into B. Yeah, this B lane position for freeing is really good. It really is just a case of timing.
B 通要来了，其实
They'll play gun B main, and then they're grouping up C link. And Crystal gets a good pick. All up to freeing in a 1v2 in a horrendous plant. Where does freeing go in T1? Dunno. Oh, he's seen him as well.
这个包甚至可以直接低了，看不了。
What a round. Nice work from XLG. Rare Atom. 2 grand finals, 2 Ascensions. Completely fell out. Alright, GG's. XLG's joining VCT China. Martin is just like, I have to do this shit again another year. Man, it must be like nice for him too. Just the whole. Martin's just like another year of this shit, really.
Yeah, there's the sin. I'm like, oh man.
拿到自己联赛的名额不是终点，而是新的起点。
是的。
I mean, it's a shame for Rare Atom.
是的。那我们也要把掌声送给 RA， 他们并没有打破魔咒。
But I also think it's just like the fact that like XLG pretty much kept the same team throughout the year and like played consistently well throughout the year, whereas Rare Atom are just trying to find like the newest hot player to throw in.
Yeah.
I think it's like good to have a team like XLG win out instead of like farm teams almost.
If they play like this as well, like they're gonna do good. Yeah, it's a brutal way to go for Rare Atom, but man, this is cool from these guys.
Yeah, good stuff. Crystal, my guy, woo. I don't know what they're gonna do about the 2 imports. Unless Raga, like, if Raga is like dual nationality, that's a huge assumption. But like, if he's dual nationality, you could probably just say that you're Chinese, right? Because like if you're British Hong Kong, you went to try, you'd lose your like British residency, which is useful. But like if you're Russian, a lot of players are denouncing their nationality anyway, obviously because it's easier. It's probably Siberian. Yeah. I just wonder if there's a way that you can get around the whole like residency nationality rules and not count as an import. I hope
What's this org like, Ryan? Is it big or?
No, not at all. I'd probably say that they're probably like attacking soul size.
Oh, okay.
I'd think. I don't know. There is an org that was in this that was like quite big in Dota, but I don't know if it's XLG or somebody else.
因为我们可以看到，其实，在昨天的比赛里，你的压力是非常大的。在那个时候，可能没有及时调整到自己最好的状态。但是从昨天状态一般到今天的残局。
But there's a lot of just kind of like, it's funny because it's you'd say like a small org, like a startup org, but it is like an org started by a billionaire that's just for fun, right?
Oh, okay.
I think that's what Attacking Soul was. I think it was like the son of a businessman's like project, I suppose. That might be completely wrong. But there's a lot of orgs like that that are just not like LPL size, but still a small org, but still probably making more money and with more of a budget than most tier 1 teams everywhere else.
看到了。
有没有什么话是想要对他们说的？
去年没进了精英赛，今年进了。
Just a teeny tiny billionaire. That's pretty much it. That's China.
的救赎。那对于你来说，这一刻又意味着什么呢？
意味着可以有更多的机会展示自己吧，因为打电竞就想出成绩吧。然后一直以来
I made it this year. That's a good point. I never even thought of that actually. Yeah, like of course, like Martin playing up against his old org to qualify. So it's either Rare Atom qualify or Martin does.
最后没能有机会再进一步，但是今天你们做到了呀。
对。
今天做到了，完成了对自己的救赎，而且也是一个梦想成真的时刻。大家再给马丁一些掌声好不好？还有什么话想和大家说呢？
谢谢大家的支持，然后那么多人来捧场，感谢。
再一次感谢大家。接下来把麦克风交给 Raga。
Mine deserved. Yeah, I mean, I shit talked him a little bit, but like, I don't have anything against the player personally. It is just more when XLG looked rough. He only shows up in certain situations.
那也想问一下 Raga 选手，有没有准备好去接受来自 VCT CN 的挑战？Maybe winning this trophy.
He's stronger on this team as opposed to JDG. Yeah.
It's a beginning for you guys, and there are still a lot of strong teams waiting for you.
I think he has had to sort of switch around, like playing Killjoy on some maps, Omen on others.
Any team you want to face against with in the future?
EDG.
EDG. Why is EDG?
Just because they're #1 team in China.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely Russian. Just off the accent.
Yes.
我刚才也是问到了他对于这次的比赛，他可能是觉得对于他准备好接受来自 VCT CN 的挑战，然后他说他当然准备好了接受来自他们的挑战。同时，我想问他在之后的比赛里最想和哪支队伍交手？他也说到是 EDG， 因为他们是最好的一支队伍，所以他永远想要挑战。
To import Roldo, yeah. I don't know what they do.
因为这也是和 RA 在晋升赛的。
I think it's like with Stu Yeoman, I was like, I don't think it's a discussion, like full stop, like who you keep and who you get rid of. This one is harder. This one is much harder.
But you're able to take the revenge today. Have you ever thought of that you could end the game with 3-0?
I think we today just play good and like we play as usual, because when we start tournament we have first game versus Extreme Gaming, yeah, we play bad, we play honestly so bad. Second game versus Array, we also play so bad. After we lose Array, okay, we talk.
That's a good point actually, that like this is the best that they've played this tournament.
Because it's
by far.
Super bad.
Save the best till last.
Play still bad. After this talk, we start play better, and second time versus Array, just unlucky because.
He's a Crystal the IGL though. Yeah, that's why you'd maybe want to keep him, and he's just good on his rolls.
Unlucky for us. And right now we just show our default game and we win.
Your default game, your default individual.
Yeah, we just.
But also losing your IGL and getting a new one as a coach is tricky.
Right now today we play as usual in practice.
I guess you could not get Raga and get No Man, because he's not counted as an import.
No.
Do you think your performance today meets your expectation?
Yeah, of course.
所以刚才其实 Crystal 选手也说到了，对于他来说，他觉得其实他们打的就是像在前两次和 RA 的交手里，他们确实打的都是非常。
It really is just on the coach's decision.
第二次的失误之后，他们其实团队也沟通交流了非常多的时间，他们有一次长谈，但是在那次长谈过后，他们其实觉得确实调整到了很多的东西，而且最后也调整过来，调整到自己最好的状态。今天
Just take Guan as a new duelist. If you could farm him away from Nova, I don't think they would let go.
想问一下看你选手。
Let me message Beth actually, just let her know.
一定是有着特别的意义的。然后现在在和 RA 的第3次交手里，终于赢下了他。你觉得今天的 XLG 有什么不一样的地方吗？
因为我们已经组了大概半年左右的时间，那这一直是我们最期待的一场比赛，就是我们一直以来的目标就是要先拿下这个比赛，进入到联赛。
Some of the China teams like VGL's right on the odd chance Crystal is the one needed.
教练。还有我们叉2G所有的老板。
That's true, but it's also like if there's other people looking for IGLs, it means that there's not enough IGLs that would meet that quality.
我们的目标是世界赛。
目标不只是这里，目标是可以挑战更多的。
Whereas there are almost always duelists.
也是兜 转转又回到了这个你熟悉的舞台上，而且这一天你重新证明了自己。你觉得这一刻对你来说，你等待了多久呢？
等待快1年。
Is this Happy Way? He's adorable. Oh yeah, because he said he looked like Jakura, right?
是很困难的时刻，在那个时刻你是如何坚持下去的呢？
其实也还好，因为像 Crystal 说的嘛，我们平常训练的。
We've been together for 6 months, and this is the match I've been looking forward to the most. Yeah.
也还好，没有感觉到特别困难，就特别有信心。
特别有信心。那这一路走过来，你认为你自己个人最大的成长和变化是什么？
变化打得越来越激进，
越来越有勇气。
对。
It's another upper bracket team with 2 bands losing though, so it might work out for M80 tomorrow. Tonight even.
对于 XLG 的比赛，在每一次的比赛里，我们其实都可以看到他们对于阵容的创新以及他们很多的改变。几乎每一场比赛可能都会有一些调整。就像 Crystal 之前采访的时候说的那样，其实他觉得这离不开教练组为他们日夜的钻研和努力。
I don't think it was a super difficult time. I've always been quite confident.
对于豪野教练来说，这一刻意味着什么呢？ And we could see your creation of your comps in each series. You have so many incredible ideas and adjustments for a team. And as Crystal said before, you have done so many things for them. So what does the moment mean to you?
Specifically, that moment that I qualified to the VCT means for me too much because I was playing since close beta and I couldn't achieve this as a player. So I'm really happy I could achieve it as a coach, head coach. This is my first season as a head coach. I'm super happy that.
Where's he from?
So I just want to say thanks to everyone for cheering for us. See you next season in
Russia. I guess a different part of Russia.
真的意味着很多，他们现在可以成功进入到 VCT。
It almost sounds like sort of like.
在他是一个选手的时候，其实他是没有。
Like either more like Eastern European, but more like Southeast.
作为教练，这也是他作为主教练的第一个赛季，他现在可以带领着他的团队。
It's almost like a little bit like Spanish.
真的非常非常开心。
Spanish Italian kind of thing.
最后他也是再一次感谢了。
Sochi probably, yeah.
之后也希望可以在 VCT CN 的联赛继续见到大家，能不能再给教练一些掌声呢？ 感觉现在每位队员的心情都很激动，但是咱们还是有一个重要的事情要公布，也就是我们在晋升赛的 FMVP。那请大家观看大屏幕，看看本次 FMVP 究竟是谁。
He was on Crow Crowd?
Congratulations!
I feel bad.
Now you're the FMVP. How's your feeling?
This Crow Crowd team was insane.
Very good. Yes, of course.
Only
You had Cloud on it. You had Trex on it. Durka was on it.
了，现在是什么样的心情？他说大家非常开心。我说那只有一个非常开心吗？他说我们已经是冠军了，那没有什么别的心情，就是开心。那接下来想问一下 Raga 选手，因为其实在这一次的比赛里面，他有很多一直在帮。
Yeah, I mean Raga. This is the tricky thing. Do you get rid of your IGL or do you get rid of your like finals MVP duelist that got you in it here in the first place?
前行的这些队友，你说的呢？ And now you are the FMVP.
Like genuinely, I think it's in China's best interest to just make it one import. Because they'll always pick up 2 imports if they can. I think it's a great way for them to go, we won champs with a full Chinese roster, we want to keep growing Chinese talent.
Okay. I love you guys all.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have words. Like, everyone doing good. Everyone very good. So, I just love you guys. That's all.
也是非常简单，我觉得 Raga 选手确实一个很害羞的选手。他最后说：“我爱你们所有人。”其实就非常简单，因为我觉得你们每个人做的都特别好。然后最后还是爱大家，感谢大家带领他赢下了这场比赛的胜利。那最后呢，其实
Raga was from DRG apparently, by the way.
来到了现场，
He's just built for Ascensions.
大家一直持续不断的欢呼。先问一下 Raga 选手有没有听到吧？ And at the day of grand final, there are so many fans supporting you in this arena. Have you ever heard they were yelling for you and cheering for you during the tournament?
Yes, I heard. I want to say thank you very much. It very helps. Thank you for cheer for us. I think in VCT we'll qualify to Masters, I guess.
Ooh, qualify for Masters. Yeah, hope to see that. 他最后也跟粉丝们说了，他说他其实可以听到大家一直不断的为他们欢呼，对于他来说，这也意味着很多东西，他很开心。而且现在他们进入到了 VCT CN，下一步对他们来说就是大师赛，大家是不是也会期待一下他们的精彩表现呢？
Oh yeah, I forgot the Fade was on this team too. So when we were saying about the Fade timeouts, it literally was a Fade timeout.
And that's all for our interview. Thank you, Raga. Thank you. And 最后，其实对于大家来说，我觉得这一场比赛，今天的这场总决赛，肯定是不光是对于所有的队员们，对于所有的观众们也是一位两多的。我相信 XLG 没有辜负每一位观众对他们的喜爱和期待，他们也没有辜负自己在训练赛日以继夜的这些努力和汗水，也期待 XLG 之后在 VCT CN 更好的表现。那我们本场的赛后采访到这里就全部结束了，下次再见，拜拜。
Moving it back. He's so small in comparison to Crystal as well. God, maybe that's why he's so slippery as a Sentinel player, because he's used to just Crystal just trying to grab him.
All right,
you gotta
Ryan,
feel...
thank you so much for watching these with me.
Yeah, it's been a fun year of China. Maybe next year we have something to actually watch English-wise. Fingers crossed.
Do you have any inside knowledge about this?
No, my guess is that they I know they want to, but my prediction is they wouldn't. But who knows? Like, it is Riot. They like to do production stuff, right? So, and especially with EDG winning champs, if there's a time to make it happen, it's now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, GG's. Thanks for watching.
GG's. I'll catch you on some games, no doubt, at one point.
Yeah, for sure. See you in a bit.
Alright, bro. Thanks so much. Everyone say bye to Ryan in chat. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh man, not only is that the end of Ascension, that's just the end of VCT China for this year. Like, the only things that we'll have to talk about after this is like off-season events. I mean, it's not that far away, right? It's like 3 months. Not as bad as the off-season was last year, but still. But like, a lot can change in 3 months. We'll see what sort of happens. Like, whether I do want to continue doing these for next year no matter what, but there's only so much that, like, of my time and energy, I suppose, that I can do. Just resources, right? Back to Pacific Production, yeah. But yeah, it's been a really fun year of doing this. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I found something to do with my time and focus on, and hopefully something comes of it, just so I can keep doing it more. But anything major changes, I'll let you know. Right now though, it's just we got the AEC tournament, and mostly just going to be putting time into the Deadlock. See you in a bit, Komodo. Enjoy Ascension. So, yeah. I thought I'd have more of a speech to sort of end the year on. It feels a bit anticlimactic, but it's like, I appreciate everybody that's tuned into, even if it's just 10 minutes of a watch party for China. It's been crazy. Like, having thousands of people watching some of these games. Even just days like this, where it's a little bit more chill, but it's like being able to learn more about the region and just be able to hang out with you guys and do this has been genuinely saved my year, because I don't know what I would have done without having something to put my time and effort into. But we'll see how it goes for next year and stuff anyway. So yeah, if you see a lot more like Deadlock on the channel, don't panic. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to be like, I'm not doing Valorant anymore, I'm just doing this. But it's the off season, might as well put my time into doing some other stuff and see what comes of it. Yeah, thanks everybody. I will, I guess, see you when I see you. Nothing else to come up in the future, so yeah. Thanks for watching.